All right, and this is where I come in. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News. This is the Snort Report. This is Goutopia. It's a thing. Hopefully you guys are doing all right. Ladies and gentlemen, sticking to the current format, we have 5 videos that will make up our broadcast, all of them brought to us by Burnell. There will not be a chewing the fat with GTG because it's not really necessary at the moment and whatnot. We're in this eternal race to try to catch up. And so that's what our situation is. Hopefully you guys are doing all right. And let me not hold off any longer, right? Let's go ahead and just get back into the situation. And I'll see you guys in just a second. Here we go.
Play the game!
To warn everyone. Warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
One can only hope. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the first video that will make up our broadcast, brought to us by Burnell, DSP, Detox Symptoms of Money, and WWE Champions in COD, and Night of Jinn in Fame on Twitter. That's a thing. This was published on January 7th of 2021. The link will be down in the description. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it.
Wow, he killed me? Seriously? Oh, sure he did. Sure he did. Turn it up. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. Oops. I had it completely muted. My bad. You guys... all you heard was me talking and probably like burping and farting and shit. You didn't actually hear the game. I'm sorry about that. Can't wear hats and stuff. Oh my god, of course. I'm just fucking sucking ass tonight. I don't think it's the connection. I'm just sucking ass and I'm talking with you guys and not really paying attention. Oh shit, did you see that sniper? Yow! Completely owned.
These bots are gonna suck the gym from the gym. Gym from the gym. Get it? Gym from the gym.
Obviously.
I'm glad that he recognizes the meme. I gotta say, watching Phil fumble around in Call of Duty is by far in Goutopia one of life's little pleasures. It really is. It's like it's almost like a rare form of like Himalayan salt, if you will, right? Like it's even though it's frequent. You know what I'm saying? And one would think it's in abundance. It's really not. There's something just particularly special about it. You know what I mean? Like that special pink salt that you get in very, very small quantities. And when you have it, you only use it on special occasions. You don't go out of your way to you don't go out of your way and use it like we do with like the Street Fighter salt, for example. It's something particularly special. And what makes it even more, I guess why I'm more enamored with it, is the fact that you've played Call of Duty for so many years and you're so fucking bad at it. Like you're day one bad. And day one, if you've never played Call of Duty or never had any real experiences with first person shooters, it's kind of understandable, but not with him. you should have a general idea how Call of Duty works. Yes, they change up the mechanics. Yeah, they change up the gimmicks and so on and so forth. In truth, Call of Duty's been in a has kind of been in a downturn over the years and whatnot. But the basics, right? The general basic mechanics are still the same for the most part. Like, this isn't hard. You're not learning a whole new system. This isn't like in Phil's logic, jumping from Windows 7 to Windows 10, and it's going to be like this huge jump. Phil, it's all the same. It's all the same, man. So the fact that he, which goes back to the meme, that he wouldn't upgrade to Windows 10 because, oh, I'd have to relearn a whole new operating system. That shit blows my mind when he said that. Yet again, one of life's small little pleasures, if you will, in Goutopia. Jesus Christ.
Robot Wizard 64 to me $5 is looking to get unbanned. I can look into it. Hold on a second. First, let me get you on the leaderboard. Oh, you were referencing detractors. You were directly referencing a detractor.
Wait,
and yeah,
I thought we weren't supposed to be doing that on the stream. I thought he was supposed to contact a mod was supposed to contact DSP, and then DSP would go over his case and then just make a decision. Or you email Phil directly at darksidephil@hotmail.com and whatnot, and then he would eventually get back to you. Now we're doing it on the stream for money. So that kind of gives a little bit of credence, even though it's already been proven. But it gives a little bit of credence that if you get banned, you can, if you're willing to pay the toll, if you're willing to pay your tithes behind the scenes, and sometimes on stream, obviously, you can get unbanned. But Phil had denied that throughout 2018, 2019. That never happens. No one does that. You know what I mean? It's always a conversation, and that's it. Sure. Someone needs to verify with Swaggins. If that's the case.
3 months ago. So, if you agree never to reference detractors again in the chat, which you shouldn't. By the way, I don't call them detractors anymore. There's either sarcastic fans or haters. One or the other. I don't think that they should be called detractors anymore. I think that's a stupid term. I've completely eliminated it from my lingo. I'll never use it again. Rage quit counter chase. I hope we get to use me tonight. There you go. Rage quit counter is going to count how many times I rage quit tonight. I guarantee you I'll be rage quitting at some point tonight. So we'll have to keep track of how many. Oh, what do I do here?
Yeah, you can't actually trust him to keep a rage counter up, a rage quit counter, or a death counter. If you watch Snort Burnell videos when like he was playing like Bloodborne or Demon Souls or whatever, he was padding that shit by like 3 or 4 kills, I think, at its peak. So yeah, don't trust Phil to keep count on anything. Look at his own personal finances. That kind of speaks for itself. As it pertains to detractors being downgraded to haters and trolls and whatever, as it pertains to lol cows in general, the detractor term has actually grown over the span of the last couple years. LTG has reference to it. Wings of Redemption. Cobra has, a bunch of people have, you know what I'm saying, depending on who you watch. Amber Lynn, and even though our girl over there likes calling them haters, but Amber Lynn, Chantel, a few of the others have all referred to people as detractors or haters. It's just a thing. It's something that rolls off the tongue and whatnot. The fact that he's trying to go ahead and eliminate that term is yet again him trying to take control of the situation. But I also think, in a very pathetic sort of way, it's him trying to, now that Tevin is going ahead and does his Twitch streaming thing now, which, as far as I know, Phil still hasn't recognized him for that or given him congratulations, despite the fact that, Phil had said, and it can be quoted that if he went ahead and did his own thing, I would congratulate him. The guy has all this talent. People say he's really funny. That's why people like watching him make fun of me. Just do your own stuff, man, and I would give you props for that. Well, where's Tevin's props at then? So you turned out to be just as much of a liar and a hypocrite as everybody said you were going to be, because Tevin went on to do his own thing after you had him deplatformed off Twitch. Now he's back there. He's doing his own thing. He's doing well. Where's the reference at? And is it Tevin is still a banned term over there? Unless you use the misspelling version of it? Whatever. The point that I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen, is Phil looks at it as Tevin is the last of the... he's like the last of, I guess, what you would consider the golden age of detractors, if you will. If one wants to make that argument, if that was the golden age hard to say. But I think he looks at it as that was the golden age of the tractors, and Tevin is the representation of the end of that. So now that Tevin can't, quote unquote, detract against him anymore, he doesn't have to acknowledge them as detractors anymore. Now everybody just gets to become haters and unironic fans. Like anybody believes that at all. But I think it's just an interesting mindset, though. It's funny how, yet again, Tevin's doing his own thing. All of a sudden, we're not detractors anymore. All of a sudden, you guys don't get to have that title no more. All of a sudden, you guys don't have that power anymore. It's funny, right? It's silly. And it kind of just goes to show how rent-free people really live in his head. But semantics.
Baby Tossin Bandage resub for 8 months and subscribe to the Sex God Dick Dark Side, Phil.
No, I'm not a sex god.
In fact, I absolutely refuse to acknowledge that moniker.
I haven't had sex in ages.
Which is actually another good point, too, on Phil's... how uncomfortable Phil is with the concept of sexuality and sex in general. Which is funny because it's kind of in sharp contrast of back in the day when he made all those crude sex jokes and all the ogling and all that shit. And then it was almost like, well, the moment he actually got himself some, he kind of was disgusted by it. Or it wasn't what it turned out to be. Or he turned out to be the very disappointment that we all thought he was. And so it kind of made him resentful of it. Or it turned him off, so to speak. I know that's a reach. But all this is a reach, to be honest with you. But, if you really think about it, pre-Panda era, you know what I'm saying? It was all that shit all day. Even when Panda was there, he was still kind of, throwing that out there. But it's funny how afterwards, you know what I mean? Especially in the decline, if you will, then all of a sudden we have this, ew, that's icky. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I don't have the stomach for that. It's really silly. And for someone who claims to be this mature adult, I mean, that's the day and age that people live in. You know what I'm saying? Like, sexuality is a thing. You know what I mean? And more people are expressing it in more ways. And in turn, people are turning around and trying to find more and more ways, as they always have, to try to make it profitable. Pimping and prostitution is one of the oldest occupations out there. It's as old as the Bible, if not older. So, well, at least prostitution, to at least some extent. So, I mean, what's the problem? It's his lack of, I don't know if it's understanding, because I feel like he understands it. I just think he's the living meme that everybody says he is, and he just hates it. But let's go with the lack of understanding. It's his lack of understanding of the day and age that he lives in is why he suffers the way he does. And it's really, really strange. Like, you know what I'm saying? He kind of reminds me of like someone who, or maybe this might be even the case, but that's a reach. He kind of reminds me of someone who was raised in a house where the parents had separate beds. They slept in the same room, but they just slept in different beds. You know what I'm saying? Like something along those lines, or not, maybe not even to that extreme, right? But to some type of very confined conditions, and he was raised in a rather religious home, at least so he says. So that might have a thing to do with it. He did go to a Catholic school. He was simping for some nun. It is what it is. I don't know. Theories are abound, I'm sure.
For something you don't like or you don't believe in just because you're supposed to vote. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Wow, I suck. I suck so bad. I can't believe I failed this. You too. Oh, sniper! Did you see that shit? Oh no! Oh! Why didn't the fucking spy plane show that? They must have had the jammer on. Fuck, dude, I got owned. Three shots to the face, but then he insta kills me, which just makes no sense. Sniper gets shot in the face. Oh, sniper gets perfect sniper shot. What planet do you live on?
I smell salt.
Thank you to everyone who contributed so far tonight. So that Philly Buckeye actually is the top cheerer, and Robot Wizard, the top tipper with a $5 tip. Again, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you could tip me. Tipping helps me more than anything right now. Earlier today, we didn't hit the tip goal, didn't even come close. Haven't hit the tip scroll in a while, so it would be really helpful if we could tonight. I really appreciate the support.
But I
Especially if you-
thought we were the jealous ones and whatnot, and I thought he was so successful, and I thought, you know, he puts out this quality content, and people love that quality content, and love him too, by the way, and that's why they support it. But he's saying here that he didn't hit the tips goal, and they haven't hit the tips goal in a while. He's had quite a few droughts, actually, since the vet streak ended. It's been rough out in them Goutopian streets since he ain't sat there and fucked around and screwed up that vet streak. It was the easiest thing he could have ever done. And the fact that this idiot, and he is an idiot, by the way, does not like the idea of being under somebody else's thumb, right? Or being at the mercy of someone else's whims, despite the fact, ladies and gentlemen, that these people are the ones who pay his bills. These are the ones who allow him to order out all that fast food, and everything, devour, and all that nonsense. These are the people who he has chosen to solely be dependent on financially. And he can't even do the smallest things to keep the money coming. And then gets mad that people call him a fucking failure. And then his only backdrop, if you will, is that, oh, I've been around for 12 years. The fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? Oh, I was rolling in dough. I used to be a really popular, or I was the most popular person in gaming on YouTube. Okay, where'd the money go, man? Where's all the prestige and respect that supposedly comes along with things like that? You can be popular and still be hated. Look at PewDiePie. Amongst others, to be honest. But where's the money at, Phil? There have been dudes that have been around as long as you have, and they're not broke. Or they're at least not, or they're not so pathetic that they have to beg for money day in, day out. You know, to pay bills, to buy groceries, to exist. Whatever.
Like the content, you support an independent content creator like me, I would like that if you could, all right? And every single person could, oh, that's e-begging. That's not begging. That's advertisement.
What? Dude,
And another thing too, real brief, I'm not going to be brief, but you know what I mean. The whole thing about being the independent streamer or whatever, so on and so forth. Oh, I don't have the corporate backing, so on and so forth. There are plenty of people who, whether you're independent or you've chosen to go the corporate route or whatever, you know what I'm saying, the path of least resistance, whatever the case may be. Sponsorship, endorsements, these things are important either which way. You know what I'm saying? And you can go and get them yourself. You don't have to go through the more, I would say, routine routes to do that. You can go ahead and branch out on your own name, as if that means a damn thing, and go and get those things on your own. My theory, not theory, it's actually already been proven. He can't do that. If Darkside Phil reached out to Dollar Shave Club, right? Or to, what's that other commercial that you see sometimes? Or Manscaped, or the Sasquatch soap thing or whatever. Or any of your, or even G Fuel, or even though it'd be funny if G Fuel actually did a deal with him and they had like a gout flavor, that would be kind of hilarious. Anyway, but that's something we can joke about another time. He could reach out to any of these venues, right? Any of you guys can. Any of you who are listening to me right now can do that, right? Whether you go and you get into a partnership deal where you actually have your own flavor, or whether you get into like an advertising or an endorsement type deal, like, let me pick somebody out. Well, 42 Thunder's been doing it for a little while, but he has a deal with them now. Like, he does sponsorship deals with them. So he does it with Manscaped too. And I think he does it with Ridge Wallets, as Gundam does. But Nero Cinema, he's another one who has his own G Fuel deal, or he has like a sponsorship deal, I should say, and so on and so forth. You can reach out to these people and get these things done, is the point I'm trying to make. You don't have to sit back and wait for someone else to do it for you. The problem is they are going to go back and try to look up who you are, and see what you're kind of about if you're going to endorse their brand. He has tainted his brand to such a point where it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be risky. Now, granted, I still firmly believe that anybody can get endorsements or advertisements. It's just a thing. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can do it. I think Cobra could do it if he chose to. King Cobra. He could. I think it would be funny if he actually did. But I think anybody can do it to some extent. The problem is it's not just Phil's past that fucks him over. It's how he behaves now. Like, if you're going to sit there and be endorsing G Fuel, for example, all this begging for tips and all that silly shit, that's got to stop. That would have to immediately stop, because that doesn't look good for the overall brand. You know what I mean? And then when you go back and look at OP seats and Spawn seats, nobody's going to want to make that mistake again. If you go back and look at the situation with Elo Hell and whatever the other game was, the first two games that he played for the Twitch bounty board, no one wants to go through that nonsense again. You know what I'm saying? He would really have to clean his shit up, and he can't. He can't afford to do that, because if he doesn't get his constant stream of tip money coming in to feed his addiction, he's fucked. He's fucked. And sooner than later, the subs and the bits are going to start to dry out too. If nothing else, the subs and the bits, gifted subs and bits, are the most consistent thing about him. You know what I'm saying? We shit on him for the tip goal thing because it's pathetic, and that we know exactly where that money goes. And he can sit there and try to finagle it all he wants, but we know where that money goes. It's WWE Champions time. We know where that goes. But the tips and the subs and the bits, if you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, is what's actually paying the bills, on top of whatever anonymous donations that are given to him off stream, which for the smarter pay pigs, that's what they're doing. Outside of that, that's not enough. It's going to be barely enough to carry today. We saw that last year. And even though he's out of that huge financial debt with the bankruptcy, you're clearly not bringing in enough, which is why you seem more and more stressed every time you come on stream. There is nothing wrong with going out and giving advertisements, sponsor deals, or doing brand partnerships or whatever the case may be. The problem is his brand is shit. His brand is shit. And until he's willing to address that and actually change it, he's going to be stuck at the mercy at crowdfunding. And what he does isn't crowdfunding, ladies and gentlemen. It's just begging. It's just begging. You know what I'm saying? Crowdfunding, like true crowdfunding, is not something that needs to be advertised, quote unquote, every day. People understand what you're about, they understand the content, and they understand what their contributions or whatever goes to, because you've already clearly outlined that. Phil hasn't done that. He lies to you guys daily about shit. Clearly. No debate. He clearly lies about everything that he says as it pertains to finances. And that's why the stories keep changing. That's why detractors, trolls, haters, and critics have so much to pick at. Because he's always flipping things, right? To continue to pull on these sympathy strings. But then again, when you go and look at his chat, as of recent, like, he's getting shit on from his own people. By people in the cult are shitting on him on the regular, especially when it comes to money. He's slowly but surely losing his grip. And this whole independent, I'm fucking the underdog, I'm doing this alone shit doesn't mean nothing. It really don't. How many people do you know who aren't even top level streamers, just mid-level? Or even around Phil's level, if you will, who don't have some type of sponsorship or branding on their streams? Phil doesn't have any of that. That doesn't make them shills. That doesn't make them sellouts. That's called business.
What is happening? I hit him with 3 volleys of bullets. He was still alive? I just spawned and there's a guy directly to my left who gets a cheap kill. What the fuck? I just spawned and there's a guy. Dude. I'll give it one more time. If that happens one more time, I'm out of here. I'll quit the server. This is fucking bullshit. They get credit for those kills like they actually earned them. They didn't earn shit.
It's salty as fuck.
Indeed.
It's like,
and actually, one more thing to just kind of solidify that last point I made. He's not even telling them, or his audience, he's not telling anybody really, when he's getting free games or when he's getting review copies or he's getting influencer copies. All things that he's admitted in the past that he's received. I mean, Jesus Christ, the last big one that he let out by accident because he's a fucking idiot and he don't think before he talks was what, Mario Sonic Winter Olympics? That was given to him for free. That was a free game that was given to him either by the company itself or by a representative who sent him an influencer copy or whatever, didn't divulge shit about that game until people called him out for spending $60 on such a shitty game. So if he's not even willing to be transparent with the very people who he's suckling on to get money, why would any business want to deal with that? And why would they want to deal with him? And trust me, people get review copies of games all the time and never do them. Or they just never do them. There's a lot of companies that do that, whether from the big AAA ones all the way down to your independents. They don't take no offense to it. They just send it to anybody who has some juice, who is consistently out there streaming, who has a small following. Every bit counts, if you will. But Phil's not even willing to divulge when he gets that shit. So if, for example, if Phil did sit there and say, I was interested in playing that game a couple of weeks before he started playing it and was given money for it, and then come to find out later when he ended up divulging that the game was given to him for free, he blatantly scammed those people. He blatantly scammed those people, and he didn't say anything about it until he got pressured. How do you trust somebody like that? If you really think about it. And that has nothing to do with detractors, trolls, haters, and critics, ladies and gentlemen. That's the scumbag being a scumbag. DSP News.
Pure salt. All you could taste was salt. You couldn't taste anything else. So guys, I'm only streaming for about another hour tonight, FYI. I would really appreciate the support if you could tip me. I mean, tips are now ridiculously slow for the past several days. I don't know what's going on. I really use the help, especially I got to buy a game tonight. I got to buy Immortals Phoenix Rising after the stream goes offline. So I'd appreciate the support if you can, guys. Thank you. That's not begging. That's business. Oh my god, he's drinking gin. Alright, real talk. It would be nice to raise enough money to buy Immortals Phoenix Rising tonight on this stream. Real talk. It would be
See,
nice.
that right there coincides yet again with what I was saying about Mario Sonic Winter Olympics. You know what I'm saying? Same concept. If he had expressed interest and wanted to play that game, let's say a couple of weeks prior, and then started begging to get it, because he certainly advertised, air quotes, that he was going to play it and was going to be part of a playthrough, then he did blatantly scam those people. He scammed his audience, and he theoretically fucked over the people who gave him the game because he didn't advertise it. And if you are given an influencer copy of a game and you choose not to play it, that's one thing. But if you choose to play the game but you don't divulge that it's a free copy that you were given, whether as an influencer copy or review copy or whatever, then what does that make you? Just saying.
Can we do that? What do you guys think? You're e-begging again.
Whoa! Oh!
Don't worry, I know I'm never gonna be globally recognized for anything. There's no way. Are you insane? When Twitter...
Wait,
when
you
Twitch
kind of are globally recognized, though, for the flappening. He's kind of pretty well known for that, because that's something that's outside of not just DSP detractor circles, but outside of lolcow circles. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's layers to this shit, ladies and gentlemen. Like a gouty cake, if you will. That's probably the only thing that's actually mainstream, or it's one of the... No, it might be the only big thing that is mainstream that is known about DSP, Darkside Phil Burnell. Is that this guy flapped off. He sat there and sprayed his piggy juice on live stream that people saw. You know what I'm saying? That's probably the most mainstream thing about him, if you will. I don't know if I go as far as saying globally. There was a lot of press about it, you know what I mean? And in other countries, obviously, not just in the US, but that might be his biggest bit of notoriety. I think he sold himself short there, ladies and gentlemen. I believe he sold himself short. That's all I'm saying. Here, I'll bring that part back just because I cut in a little early.
Don't worry, I know I'm never gonna be globally recognized for anything. There's no way. Are you insane? When Twitch put a clip of me into an advertisement that they put onto Twitter, Alright? All my haters spammed the fuck out of the tweet till they deleted it. There's no way that Twitch would ever make me a global emo. Are you out of your minds? That would never happen.
Wait, if my memory serves me correctly, they misspelled your name too. Because I think they put an I where the Y was. Theoretically, he should be thanking us for that, but whatever. It is what it is. And that, and more importantly, it doesn't really matter because it's not like Twitch kicked you off the platform. They just chose not to put you in a situation like that. But to be honest, it was because the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics put so much attention on it, ended up making that tweet so much more widespread. But let's go back to like 2017, if I may. Remember when they were using him as a guinea pig for their anti-bullying and anti-harassment efforts, if you will, that they were developing back in those days, and they were using him for certain interactive streams or whatnot? I'm just throwing it out there for you guys who didn't know about that. You know what I'm saying? It's a thing. So it wasn't like Twitch didn't try to promote him. It just, how do you promote shit? Pig shit, let alone. How do you do that? And how do you do it effectively? Just saying.
Bullshit, I hit them fully, and then they just turned, oh, random sniper shot, auto aim kill. That is so bad. It's no skill at all. There's no skill with that at all. That's just abusing the system. What? Are you kidding me? There's no way. There was no way the bullets could have missed. It was almost point blank in his face, and the game's telling me that it didn't hit him. That's insanity, dude. I said, isn't it weird how some matches I can do so well, other matches I can't hit? Look, I can't react to anyone. It's because the server connection, I tell you right now, my server connection is terrible to everyone else. But you notice they took away, 3-4 years ago, they took away the connection bars to show your connection. I would have joined and probably saw like a 2-bar connection and immediately quit, but they took that away because they didn't want anyone to know how bad the connections are on console. So here I am, just losing constantly, can't even get a single shot off on anybody. How is this legit?
To some degree, he might actually be correct on that. On top of that, they took away the global player counter and whatnot because Activision didn't want to see how Call of Duty's player base had dwindled like severely. So they've been trying to hide that shit as well as other things. But here's my thing. So he's playing on Raid, which is a classic Black Ops 2 map, and that's essentially what Black Ops Cold War has become. It's just going to be rehashing the glory days of Black Ops 2 by basically copy and pasting all of their maps and maybe adding a little bit of aesthetics to it or whatever. Just re-release Black Ops 2. Like, you know what I'm saying? And not a remake. Just remaster it. Just update the graphics and everything and then just put that shit out there for the masses. They won't do it because microtransactioning that shit out of the fucking wazoo. And if they do it and skill-based matchmaking is the way it is now, it'll be hacker's paradise in no time, which is ironic because Black Ops Cold War is hacker paradise, and it's only been what, like less than 4 months. It's been 4 months, and the game is dead, and the hackers are already taking over in a big way. On top of the fact that, some of the big kill streamers and YouTubers have already come out and admitted that they were reverse boosting to get better lobbies so they could have content. Because, well, let's be perfectly honest, they couldn't compete. They couldn't compete. Like, I think it was in one of Korean Savage's videos, which he'd been accused of that shit for years anyway, and whatnot. And people kept giving him the benefit of the doubt for whatever fucking reason, which doesn't matter really. To be honest, there's other scummy shit you can catch him slipping on because he's done far worse. Like that charity, like that whole situation he did to raise money for his father because his father has this really rare disease, and the kid's already a multi-millionaire, but he went to his audience to try to raise money to get treatment for his father when he blatantly could have paid for it himself, and he said, "I didn't want to." Just sick shit. Anyway, amongst others, there's other grimy shit he's done as well, allegedly. But Korean Savage was being accused of reverse boosting for the longest time or whatever. People gave him the benefit of the doubt. And he came out after, Chain Kills or whatever came out and admitted it. I didn't even know who that dude was until this revelation came out about him. But, and then you had other Call of Duty YouTubers who were accused of it, who came out and said that they were doing it as well. And the one thing out of all that really pissed me off, because I really didn't have any type of loyalty to any of those people anyway. Was, or I didn't really know who any of them were, was when 402 Thunder hinted at the idea that what if Mark of J was doing it. And I think that's bullshit. I think it's bullshit that he did that. Everybody knows Mark of J plays that shit fucking legit. Like, everybody knows that. I mean, Mark of J don't even play no more because he just doesn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not fun. And he's not going to force himself to play a game that's not fun because he don't have to. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to keep putting out fucking gameplay footage because this is the only shit that he has to, this is the only shit that he can do. Like, he has other shit that he can do. So, when 402 Thunder said that dumb shit, he took some pushback for it, as he should have, because he of all people knows that Mark of J plays it legit. And he tried to play it off, oh, it was just a joke, I didn't mean anything by it, but that would hurt me if it was. Well, I've seen some of your questionable gameplay too. So how do we know that you didn't do that? And then he got quiet after that was brought up. But that is what that is. But the fact that he even tried to throw that out there to try to like fan the flames and shit was kind of shitty. It was really, really shitty that he pulled that, especially since he's known Mark of J for years, like well over, like almost a decade. And you would think of accusing him like that. That's really fucking shitty. But whatever. It just goes to show, back to the comment I made about loyalty, that even in Call of Duty, even with people that you've known for 5 years or more, you've talked to these people, you know what I'm saying? You didn't just game with these people, you've talked to these people on a personal level. There's no real loyalty anywhere. And I think one of the reasons why Thunder did it, sorry, I know I'm turning this into a shit on him segment, but I'm going to say it because I'm going to say it. I think the only reason why he even brought Mark of J up is because Mark of J is not active. He's not active on Twitter, and he's not posting. So I think he thought it was one of those shots he could make, and he thought he could get away with it. Because he's kind of pulled some, not slimy shit, but he kind of pulled some low-key type shit for Chris Move back in the day. Well, not back in the day, only a couple years ago, where people were kind of jumping on him for, like, implying certain shit, and he had to backtrack that shit fast. And that was only because Chris Move has gone on to do bigger and better things, and he gave up Call of Duty a long time ago. What Thunder forgets is that that Chris Move didn't need Call of Duty. It was just something that he was playing. He was playing Madden. He was playing NBA Live, or he was playing 2K. Sorry, he had other things going. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't reliant on this one thing. Unlike 402 Thunder, who tried to do Battlefield, that didn't go well because he quit at it. He tried to do Fortnite, quit at that. He's tried to do multiple things, and he keeps going back to Call of Duty because he's complacent. It's the only thing that he's kind of ever committed himself to, and to be fair, it's the only thing that he may be good at. Even though realistically he's not as good anymore because his reflexes and reactions aren't there anymore. But whatever. You know what I'm saying? So him to throw shade at people like that, he should know better. He should know better. He came up in the days where the Call of Duty community used to eat itself. He should know better. Anyway, that's my Call of Duty rant for today.
Nothing wrong. I did everything correct. Oh my god! Wow, I suck so bad. I am getting completely dominated. I am getting out of here. I can't do anything right.
I couldn't get the aim. My God, I'm so bad. I couldn't get it.
15-20 minutes left, guys. Please, if you can, support the stream. Please, if you can, tip me. Tips have been so bad the last 3-4 days now. I don't know what's going on. The hardcore begging season.
Enemy has Bravo.
You see how he stopped there and he literally froze like deer in the headlights. Like, what are you doing? The game is too fast-paced for you to be doing that. And like I said, this isn't day one Call of Duty. Like you can still move and shoot. Oh, all right.
seriously can't aim. I can't do it. I can't aim and hit anything. So I don't know if it's me or the connection tonight, but really, I can't do anything right now. I'm just like worthless to my fucking team. I couldn't even aim for the door.
Only 1 or 2 matches left, guys. That's it. So I don't know what's going on right now. Like I said, last few days, I don't know what's going on with support. I don't know. Is it concerning? Yes, especially because we're entering into a new year. You know, like to start strong, and we did. We did, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you because I absolutely.
But this is successful. This is what success looks like, ladies and gentlemen. That right there, that face right there, is what success looks like. 12-year legacy on the internet. Made over $2 million in his time on the internet. That's what success looks like. Went ahead and was able to fucking con these people and get the bankruptcy. Still got the foreclosure to worry about. But he ended up conning them. He ended up getting out of $140,000 in credit card debt. Got that finessed, wiped right off the board. With gouty residue just to rub it into the detractors, troll haters, and critics' faces. But that's what success is. He doesn't e-beg, it's advertising. It's not e-begging, that's business. Take a look at it, ladies and gentlemen. Take it all in.
Need your help at this point. This is the make or break point. If I don't raise a significant amount, I'm done. Great.
But I thought, yet again, I thought he was successful. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? What I might have to do is go back, find all of those major begging videos that he made, and we need to go over them. We need to go ahead and actually see the success and progress. We don't understand what success is, right? So we're going to need to go back, and we need to see all the key points, and trust me, there's a lot of them, of his success, of how well his business was doing, right? And how he was advertising to continue his business. That's what it is. That might have to be a struggle against the grease. The struggle with success. Maintaining a business by Darkside Phil. Defiant Sniff.
Great. Hey, guess what? I just got charged back too. $30. Wow. So not only
I guess it's a good thing it was a slow night, right? So then he could go ahead and check his phone, to check his emails, and be like, oh, not only is it a slow night, but also I got $30 in chargebacks. Well, that's quite the coincidence. No pignosis here.
Incredibly slow couple of days. I just lost basically all the tips that I made today. I just got a $30 chargeback against my account. And it was one that I was trying to fight too, and didn't work.
Wait, but I thought you win every chargeback. I thought PayPal understands the situation that you're in, and they're always there, and they always have your back. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, but this is something that's been posed quite a few times. There is usually some type of processing. Isn't there usually some type of processing fee that goes along with it? So when he loses the chargeback, he still has to pay the processing fee? Or is that if you only donate directly to PayPal? Like, I'm not sure about Streamlabs or anything like that. But I know if you donate to his PayPal and you charge it back, he's stuck with the processing fee. So I wonder if it's the exact same way. Well, all the money goes to his PayPal now, but I think it goes through Streamlabs, so I don't know exactly how that works. Interesting. I have to think about that. I know I've heard someone talk about that somewhere though.
What? Fuck you.
How did you fuck that up? That was a tag team type situation. You shoot over the dude's head. Oh. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Quit! He rage quit! Oh my god, he rage quit. Are you fucking serious?
Are you out of your mind? The person had already been hit from my teammate. I walk in and open fire into them. Nothing registers. When it starts registering, I instantly die. Dude, fuck that. What is wrong with this game? Seriously, what is wrong with this game? Oh, what the fuck?
There's the salt. The delicious salt. Well, I see we got a troll in chat. I'm trying to figure out what his name is because I don't see it.
Survivors withdraw to evac point.
There he is. All right, we're going to play one more match tonight, guys, and that's going to be it. Sadly, I lost money.
I was about to call that like a Gouty Mirage or a Phantom Troll, but he found him, so rip to that. It would be funny, though, because there are times, and I'm actually going to try to be serious for whatever that's worth. But there are times where Phil does look at the chat and he gets really intense, and you see them sitting there obviously looking for somebody, and he doesn't find them and whatnot. And I think that's just the paranoia getting to him. He's been doing that a lot over the last year or so. It's gotten worse, I should say. It's really, really bad. And yet again, it kind of reinforces that if you were so fucking successful, then why don't you actually take some time away from this shit? And when I mean take some time away from this, I mean, why don't you take an additional day off? Like, you don't need to be streaming 6 days. You really don't. It's not doing you any favors. It's obvious that you do it because you need something from this that's more than financial. You know what I'm saying? That's why on his days off, he's sitting there lurking around Kiwi Farms, but he does that every day. And he's on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Ranting off, doing his silly shit, getting himself into more and more trouble, if you want to call it trouble. You know what I'm saying? It's obvious that he needs this shit because this is all he has. All that bullshit about having a great and beautiful life and everything and spending time with his wife and fucking Jasper. Stop. People were able to see through that bullshit a long ass time ago. If you go back to their first interaction with each other on that fucking love seat, you know what I'm saying? That right there told the story of what was going to come later. Pure and simple. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing like the interaction between like Wings and Kelly the first time they were on stream. I'm gonna go over that too, so don't worry about that. For the few who actually care, we're gonna go over those. The interaction was way different. Like, Wings was kind of hands off. Like, he was in the chat counting up his money. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, you know what I'm saying, the South Conway pimp that he was, and Kelly basically took control. You know what I'm saying? She went ahead, she dove in there, and she took anything and everything that came with it. And she walked up Schitt's Creek and came up clean. Basically, she showed that she had the mental toughness that Wings doesn't. And despite the fact that Wings puts himself through the ringer day in, day out, if you look at how his weight has affected him, you can see that he just eats his troubles away, which he's always done that. It's just the mechanism that he has. Whereas with Kelly, she went there and she took everything at face value and she moved off of it. You know what I'm saying? I would surmise that there was little to any type of residue or repercussion that came out of that. She left it, whatever that was told to her on stream, she left it on stream. You know what I'm saying? Whereas with DSP, all he did, this positive moment of him unveiling Cat, if you will, instead of it being a positive moment and, you know, talking about their relationship briefly and what their future plans was, he basically hyped her up on all the hate and the trolling that he goes through. And in a lot of ways, he transferred a lot of that paranoia and, sadly, a lot of that negativity onto her. And then look at how that ended up coming to pass later on down the line. Think about it. DSPNEWS.
I legit lost money tonight because of a fucking chargeback. Unbelievable. Stream for 2 hours, you know, lose money. This sucks. Oh. Time for me to start losing more fucking hair.
As soon as they stepped out, I fired instant death. It's not fair. It's not fair gameplay. It's definitely not. It's complete horseshit. I'm playing skillfully. I'm the one waiting at that spot. I'm the one waiting and trying to play skillfully. They just step out instant kill. What? You didn't even aim yet. Yeah, how did you get an insta-kill?
Alright, guys. I think that's enough for me. You don't want to see me, crying like a fucking baby here. Oh.
Sorry that the streaming started way later than usual today. But it is what it is. Last night I couldn't sleep. Literally was answering your questions on Twitter till like almost 5 in the morning. Couldn't sleep at all. Like, just couldn't get a wink. I don't know why. I mean, obviously it could be impacted by the events of yesterday, which were crazy in history.
The stream ends at what? Like 9? No. Like 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock maybe, and whatnot. And then instead of getting off stream, spending time with Jasper, spending time with Kat, he's on Twitter till 5 a.m. and then fucking with either the Tangeray or the Sapphire. Jesus Christ. Till 5 a.m. Till 5 a.m. Shit, were people supposed to send him pity bucks? You know what I'm saying? Because he's on Twitter and because he had all the chargebacks? I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened. Jesus Christ. Maybe he should post his PayPal link on Twitter and shit, so people can donate when he has a bad night or some shit. That could be it could be the after stream Q&A on Twitter or some shit.
Making. But yeah, it was funny because I was like, all right, well, since it's already almost 5 in the morning and I gotta be up in like 4 hours supposedly if I were gonna do a normal stream, I'm just gonna say we're not doing a normal stream. We'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but likely the first stream will be canceled. So I turned off my clock alarm. I was like, I'm just gonna sleep till whenever. All right.
So you were drunk. You were drunk as fuck. Because if you guys go back to 2017, which was a glorious year, by the way, you go back to you know what I should do? No, let me keep that to myself. I actually kind of want to I kind of want to do that now. Let me run it by some people here first, and then I have ideas. Anyway, you go back to the glory days of 2017, and especially after Panda left his bitch ass. And even while Panda was there to some extent, but certainly after Panda left his bitch ass, we've heard this excuse before. Oh, I was up till Twitter late night and shit, and I couldn't sleep, and this, that, and the third. Hung the fuck over, drunk as fuck, which led to the fucking hangover, and that's why either the day stream either didn't happen or it got cut back, right? So he streamed a little longer, then took his little break, and then had the night stream that was even further back, and so on and so forth. We've heard all these excuses before, and you just blame it on the gin. Jesus Christ. Just blame it on the gin. He really should just start drinking screwdrivers. It's cheaper, to be honest with you, I think. Maybe, I guess. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's probably more vitamin C than he's used to, but but it's good for you. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be sitting around just drinking cherry juice all day.
Sleep. And I slept in later than usual. Usually I get up around 9 a.m. And Jasper woke me up, I'd say around 10:30. Like, he started doing every possible thing to wake me up. He's licking my face. He's going under the sheets and dancing all over my body. Walking all over me. Things that cats typically do to get their owners up. So all that being said...
Wait. And see, this is something I've pointed out before, too. I kind of do it in like a throwaway type fashion. I think a lot of my comments are more like throwaway comments, so I get it. But like... Why would I find it hard to believe, ladies and gentlemen, that Jasper would choose to go and get Darkside Phil, or choose to go and get Phil over Catherine, unless she sleeps in her room with the door closed. Outside of that, I would assume the moment that, that Jasper gets up, he's going to go right to Kat's side of the bed, if they were sleeping in the same bed. If not, he would go to her room first, unless she keeps her room door closed. Just something to think about. Like I said, it's probably just another throwaway comment on my part. But that don't seem right. And then think about what he just said. He's like, oh, it's just the typical thing that cats do to get their owners up. Why would Jasper go to you first? Why not go to Cat? Whatever. Just throwing it out there.
Please consider contributing, and please tip if you can. Tipping is the preferred method that helps more than others. That's why we have tips goals on the stream.
I'm not setting up a tips goal. Reason being, the tips goal is kind of it's not necessarily honest, but no matter what I raise, it helps. So, you know, that's kind of why I'd rather do a total tips rather than a tips goal, because I think a tips goal is kind of dishonest.
If I raise $50 in tips today, I'll put on the Gunner glasses. For $100, I'll put on a vest. Well, here we go. Another sub-bomb has been dropped. Dragon Ball Final Gout. Someone who thinks that it's funny to reference a medical condition. Although, luckily, I don't take offense because, number one, I don't think it's a big deal. And number two, I actually haven't suffered from gout in many years, which is a good thing. Trust me. My lifestyle being changed so that I don't have uric acid buildup in my body has allowed me to have a much better life pain-free. Because, man, does it fucking hurt when those crystals are in my foot. But anyway.
Oh, the King's disease. That's the one that people who just, you know, they live these gluttonous lives of excess and plenty. That's why you get it. Bring on the dancing girls and feed me grapes. That's why my foot is swollen.
If you like the content today, please contribute to the channel. And please, if you have the option, please tip me. Tips have been very, very low. The last several stream days that I've been streaming here, I haven't worn the vest for hitting the tips goal in now it's been almost 4 days of streaming. So I would appreciate the help. Thank you in advance, anyone who does tip today. I really appreciate it. All right? That's it. Pre-stream over. The shortest pre-stream I've done probably in months.
There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me. It's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict.
Oh boy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into our first music break, and then we will be back for the for the second video that will make up our broadcast. I will see you guys in just a second. Absolutely silly. Let's see here.
Warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Folks, tonight, if
One
you
can only hope. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the second video that'll make up our broadcast, brought to us by Snort Burnell, DSP. I have no magical connections to with any of my viewers. The whales return to duty, and PC expert. This was published on January 8th of 2021. The link will be down in the description. Oh no! Okay. That was close. We almost had we almost had props. we almost had props. Okay. All right, back to it.
contribute to the stream, I would appreciate it. It's not mandatory, it's not expected, but it is greatly appreciated because I only get income from crowdfunding. It's you guys supporting my efforts that allow me to make a living doing this.
I need that money to pay my WWE Champions bills.
I would prefer if you could tip me. If you have the option to choose, you're like, oh, how can I help fill the most? I'd prefer if you could tip me. Tipping helps me more than anything, and actually earlier today, we hit the tips goal for the first time in 4 days. So that means tonight, If we do hit the tips goal again, I will wear a vest for you, but it cannot be the platinum vest because that's what I wore earlier today. It could be the beige, the blue, the red.
Here, let
the
me run this
camo.
by you guys real quick because I'm curious what you guys think. So, you guys know that Phil needs his tips. He needs his tips, right? We already know that. So we won't. I won't dwell on that too much more than what I already do, because we have plenty more videos to go over to do that. But do any of you guys feel that it's plausible that Phil has a designated group of people who come through with subs each and every month, so that's the reason why he has no need to beg for subs, whether he's doing a sub goal or not, and he knows there's always going to be people that are going to throw him bits, so there's nothing to worry about, and that's why his focus mainly is on tips? Because think about it, ladies and gentlemen, his tips aren't part of his monthly paycheck from Twitch. That's what the bits and the subs, and if he does run advertisements, that's what that goes to. Other than that, the tips are the everyday payoff that he's consistently been conditioning them to do. If you think about it, in a lot of ways, I wouldn't say he's played the system, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who do that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But like the way he does it just comes across even more slimy. You know what I mean? And if he knows that, oh, I have like 4 or 5 people that will maintain at least 500, 550 subs or more each and every month, then I have no need to even talk about that unless we have like a sub goal or whatever. Bits, there's always going to be 50-bit bitches and shit in the chat anyway, no big deal on that. As well as troll bits, which he's not blocking anybody from doing that if he's capable of doing it. So tips are essentially the driving force. And if you think about it, you could say in some meta type pignosis that, oh, well, I'd really like to go ahead and tip Phil, but you know what I'm saying, Twitch is going to take a cut or whatever the case may be, so on and so forth. Or maybe I don't have enough to give a big enough tip that would be substantial in any type of way, so I'll just throw some bits at him, or I'll just throw like a couple of gifted subs out and just to balance it out. Even though with the sub thing, it doesn't make too much sense to do it that way, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like just whatever. If you think about it, who knows what goes through the mind of a pay pig, especially one who's suffering from mental gout. But still, just something to think about. You know what I mean? I'd like to kind of get an idea of what some of you guys think.
Gray, but not the platinum, okay?
And every single person could, oh, that's e-begging. That's not begging. That's advertisement.
Timbo Slice Judy said, with these hungry eyes, one look at you I can't disguise. I've got hungry eyes. I feel the magic between you and I. That is incredibly disturbing. I don't know why you would say something like that on my stream. I'm a gameplay streamer, and I don't have any kind of magical connection to any of my viewers, nor do I try to portray that kind of relationship, unlike a lot of other streamers that may actually pretend like there's actually a private or personal relationship between them and their viewers to try to incite more, donations and contributions. I would never do that.
Hello, my children.
So please understand that.
Exactly. But what about, and not just the whole cult-like mentality with the Wii situation, as Snort Burnell's pointing out, but what about Vidal? What about Swaggins? No, not Swaggins. Swaggins was a bitch. Like literally, Phil treated Swaggins like a bitch. Seidella and Derich. Actually, I don't even know why I even had to give that any type of thought. Seidella and Derich are probably two of the prime examples of people who not only has he conversated with them on stream, but off stream, and on top of that, he's defended those guys tooth and nail. Derich is a meme now because of Phil's insistence of people not trolling him, as he did with Seidella before him. So what are you talking about? And then there was a theory going around, just a theory. Not exactly, it wasn't a Theo theory, but it was a theory. Or maybe it was a Theo. No, I don't think Theo ever said that. He might have, but I don't think so. I certainly never heard him say it. But there was a theory going around by somebody that Phil may have actually known Derich on some type of personal level or whatever. And since obviously Derich's parents were going to they might actually have kept some type of tabs on him or whatever. Maybe, just maybe, there was some type of orchestration where, okay, just show Derich a little bit of extra attention because he's a really big fan of yours, and we'll make sure that some contributions make it to you and whatnot because Derich really looks up to you or whatever the case may be. however that scenario may or may not have played out, but there was some type of interaction that would warrant what Derich was able to do for the longest time in some way, shape, or form. Now, keep in mind also, Derich is the same dude who was snatching up his parents' credit cards and using that to tip Phil. And then once that shit got nipped in the butt, he was begging other stream regulars to tip or to send bits on his behalf. So his connection with Derich must run deep. If one wouldn't, give that some type of thought, if you will. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. It's kind of disgusting he says shit like that, given how much attention he gives to those people when they're on stream. Just saying. And these people have been around for a really, really long time. These aren't just your Emerald Sevens or your King Tuts or Tutmosis, type individuals. These are guys who've been around. They've been around for a long ass time. Just something to think about.
Even though I like you guys, we have a lot of fun every single time that I stream. I'm not in a close personal relationship with any of you. Please do not say horrible things like that, Timbo Slice. You've disturbed me greatly here tonight. Greatly. By saying that in that cheer. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, then.
Hungry eyes. I'm so just enveloped in greed and money. I need money. I need money.
No, I cannot do chair spins. This chair, if you can hear it, hold on. Hear it? That's just me wiggling my butt in the chair. This chair is falling apart. This chair is probably going to break within the next couple of months, which is why I told you guys my #1 agenda this year, new laptop, which is on its last legs, and new chair. I have to do something because I can't just keep going like this. This chair is probably going to fail miserably and break apart. So, no, I will not be spinning in the chair anymore. It's probably going to break if I do. Philip's smelly chair!
That's not actually the case at all. So, the chair spinning stopped because he looked like a fucking idiot, and there was memes used all over the place for that. You saw some of those in the Ludwig World Order videos going over the Street Fighter tributes, where that shit happened. I'm sure Phil watched all of those, and that shit burnt his bacon rather severely. Greasy, greasy bacon as it is. Also, while he was sitting there wiggling in his chair, the chair didn't move. So where's all the squeaking, where's all the wings of redemption squeaking that you would get from the chair if it was really on its last leg? On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, he's had that chair since Connecticut. And he just recently brought it out and started doing all the chair spins and all that nonsense until it abruptly stopped. It was nothing wrong with it then, so why should we assume that there's anything wrong with it now? You just don't want to look like a fucking idiot doing it. And that's fine. Next thing. Oh, I need a new chair. Oh, I need a new laptop. Oh, let's not forget all the other things. He wants a brand new desktop, right? And then he wants, what else did he say? And then the green screen, but that's last. He specifically pointed it out and made it a thing that the green screen would be last, which means it's never going to happen. Or more than likely it's not going to happen. I'm going to go back to something that I've said before, ladies and gentlemen. During the vest streak, the money was there. The money was there. And he can sit there and say, no, I had to pay you on, I had to spend it on bills here, I had to spend it on bills there. Asshole, this is your job. Right? This is your job. And you have to spend money to make money. So, by proxy, you're investing back into the business to up the quality, air quotes supposedly, so you can make even more money to pay your obligations. I mean, you can sit there and splurge all that money on WWE champions and all this fucking food weekly, right? But you can't invest back into the business itself. Oh, no, you want someone to buy you something specifically on this specific day for this specific reason, and then all of a sudden it's all gravy. I don't want to have to buy it myself. That's for the plebes and the fucking serfs to do that shit. I don't need to do that. Fuck all that. Other streamers can get people to buy them brand new fucking laptops or brand new desktop setups or whatever the case may be. Why does he have to do it? And I assume in some way, shape, or form, that's what he's thinking. And I also would assume that someone behind the scenes, don't know who, has probably been talking to Phil back and forth to actually do that. Or there may be even a few of them that are talking to Phil and trying to pull their resources together to do that. I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't. Just like the mythos behind that PS4 Pro and that new television. And we heard a bunch of different stories about that. That should also be a struggle against the grease too. I need to revisit that. I don't think I ever went over that fully. Yeah, that should definitely be a struggle against the grease as well. That'd be hilarious.
Has subscribed to the channel. Yeah, but dude, oh my god, it's good. Basically, when you mix this meat and eggs with rice, and you put it in a bowl, it's like every bite is delicious. It's got sweetness to it. It's got a little bit of a different kind of a kick because it actually has some sake in it. But it's got this saltiness and savoriness to it because of the eggs. It's like unique. I've never had anything like that before. So my wife made it last week with beef.
I love the red meat. All right.
And we loved it. And I went to get the beef again. They didn't have it. Instead, they had pork. So I got the pork. It was just as good. It was like super delicious.
Cannibalism.
Oh my god, like crazy tasty. I was so happy. It's a meal we're probably going to end up having frequently now because we like it so much. And by the way, she said it's really easy to make. So, oh my goodness. Well,
if it's
basically,
really easy
guys,
to make, why won't your dumbass try to do it? It's funny how, oh, well, it's easier for the woman to make it, so she gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be part of, what's that shit I used to say with Panda? It's gonna be part of our repertoire. But what about you going down there and making it then if it's so easy? Like, why isn't that a thing? And it's crazy how he does that. And other people pointed this out. Like, that woman has no real self-worth to him outside of the fact that she just cooks and cleans and that's it. Other than that, that chick has no real worth to him. So this bullshit about, oh, you know, we have this great marriage and whatnot, we have this great life together, then why are you on Twitter till 5 o'clock in the morning? You know what I'm saying? Why isn't it that we never got those co-op gaming streams with each other or whatever? Why is it that you prevent her from streaming or even making any YouTube content? Why is it that she's just an upgrade, so to speak? She is, air quotes, an upgrade from Panda in the fact that you were willing to put a ring on her finger and she doesn't demand much from you. I.e., she doesn't really want to spend any real time with you. She's okay with cooking and cleaning for you because it's probably the best situation that she thinks she can get at the moment. But other than that, she sees she doesn't want to do too much with you. You don't want to do too much with her, and you guys just exist. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, it's almost like what I said it was all those years ago, that it's nothing more than an arrangement, and that's it. There is no emotional fucking support. There is no emotional attachment to each other. And they're just as distant from each other now as Phil and Panda were towards the end of their relationship all those years prior. It's amazing how that is. And the only thing he does to keep his fucking little colt on the fucking end of the piggies, on his pigtails, if you will, to keep them engaged, like, oh, I'm such a successful guy because I'm married and this, that, and the third, is that, oh, look at what she makes for me. Because remember, when you're doing something for Phil, that equates love. That equates meaning. If you're doing this for Phil, Phil means something to you. And that's why you're doing it. Well, if you think about it, her cooking meals, all these different meals that they're always testing and trying or whatever, exact same concept. That's why this piece of garbage can't do any of that for himself. Which, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to go ahead and pose the argument that all those times where he said, oh, I made turkey burgers for us, or I made stir fry, this, that, and the third, I don't think he made any of those things. Honestly. I think she went ahead and just picked up fast food on the way home before she just picked up some already made, I should say, or pre-made, or she just picked up some pre-made meal from her job or some frozen dinner. I think all that bullshit about, oh, I made her stir fry, or I made her this, or I did turkey burgers, or I made hot dogs. I don't think he did any of those things. I can almost guarantee it. I can almost guarantee he didn't do that. I think the only thing he makes is his sauce. And because he can make the sauce in a big batch, it takes him all day, and then he can portion it out and freeze it for months on end, I think he looks at it as, well, that's my big contribution as it pertains to meals. So that stuff is already ready made. It's better than the shit that you can buy off the shelf that comes in a can or a jar. So I've already done my part. Just think about it. Just take a minute to kind of let that run through. DSP News.
Here's the deal. For those of you watching on YouTube, you have no idea. Here's who's in the chat tonight. We got a few regulars who are just kind of chilling. Then we've got the people who don't like this game, and they're sitting here completely whining. The game sucks, it's boring. Or they're just saying I'm not interacting with them, despite the fact they literally have nothing to talk about. They're not tagging me and saying anything interesting. No one's asking me questions. They're literally just sitting there whining, saying I'm not interacting with them, despite the fact that they're saying stupid things like, do you think a moderator should have a term limit in your chat? You know, the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's complete idiocy. That's the kind of discussion we're getting here tonight on stream, which is why you don't hear me interacting with anyone on the stream. They're not here to hang out and have fun. They're here to basically be annoying.
Well, I guess that's the reason why there's no gunner glasses or there's no vest on. So, there you go on that. Because you've got to be a very disconnected son of a bitch to sit there and cry and complain about how contributions are low and then turn around and call everybody there idiots. Blanket statement, calling all of them idiots because all of the things that they're saying to you are either A, not enough to get your attention, i.e. with money attached, or they're not engaging enough for you to go on a rant or for you to actually participate into some really deep thinking. That's pretty much what he said. And then he's mad because the vest goal wasn't hit for like 4 days or whatever the case may be, which is what, $800? Damn. Harken back to all those days, not too long ago, where the vest streak was plentiful, right? And the money was just kind of rolling in. And then we forget, because I know I do sometimes, that more often than not, there were some of those vest streaks, there were some of those solo vest streaks, I should say, that he made over $120, even $150. You know what I mean? And on a single stream. And I mean just in tips, not even talking about all of the bits and all the subs that he got. So most days he walked away with 200, close to 300, if not more, just in tips. And then didn't he have a gimmick where for $100 you hit the vest goal, he puts a vest on, but if you guys hit like $200 on the same stream, he would change to another vest or some silly shit? I don't know if they ever hit it or not. I'm sure they did once or twice, but still, how do you fuck up something like that? Because, as you see currently on your screen here, he's an idiot. He's a massive fucking idiot. He can't just let the money roll in and let the memes and let people just laugh at him for it. What do you care? You have the money. He can't, that's not enough. You know what I'm saying? He has to be able to take full control of it, and everybody needs to be conformed in such a way to where, okay, I'm doing this for you, but realistically, I need to regiment you people into just giving me this money daily, right? So I don't have to do anything extra, or I don't have to keep doing this stupid gimmick, so people don't keep laughing at me on Kiwi Farms and Detractor Twitter. And that's why the vest streak got fucked. Because he thought he had them regimented enough that they could keep the $100 a stream goal going. He thought he could transfer the vest goal to the stream goal, and he could get his $100 without having to do anything extra. He thought that's what he could do, and he gambled and he lost. And like a serial gambler, like a fucking gambling addict, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't know when to stop, and he doesn't really understand the odds that are against him. The one thing he could do, at least at that time, to rally the pay piggies against the detractors, right? Because according to the mythos, whenever a pay piggy gives a detractor or gives Phil money, a detractor weeps, right? Right? Because they're so upset about it. He fucked all that up. He killed it on his own. And he was overly reliant on Swaggins and Only Iced Coffee. Womp womp. And in his over-reliance on those two, he essentially cut out the rest of the fan base. Or the rest of the pay pigs for the most part. Because why would they need to contribute their $10, $15, $20 to the vest streak when these two guys are going to handle it anyway? So they went ahead and put all their money towards bits and subs. You see how he fucked himself? And now you get these sad little fucking interactions like this. But remember though, contributions aren't mandatory.
Joel Sculpture said, you said chat doesn't talk to you. Why don't you try engaging chat? Talk to us, ask us questions, entertain us. You're the streamer. That's not how it works. Why would I want to ask you questions? I'm the person who's playing a game. Do you have questions about the game? Do you have questions about my schedule? Do you have questions about things I'll be doing? Why would the person ask you questions?
One, they're watching you play the game. Two, your schedule is broadcast on multiple different mediums. Why would they give a fuck about any of that? And whatever the third one was is essentially incidental. It doesn't mean anything anyway. Who gives a shit? Just about every game he plays, he overhypes it until he gets his initial, until he gets the initial donations for it, and then slowly but surely, as the donations start to dry up, he loses interest in the game. Or the opposite, where it doesn't get a whole lot of donations or contributions, but he likes the game a lot, and then he starts losing viewership and interest in it, and then he rants about why people aren't enjoying this game because he really enjoys it. So all of the things that he brought up was incidental. There's nothing wrong with turning to the chat and being like, hey, what's up, chat? What would you guys like to talk about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like turning the question, well, making a question multi-useful. So you make it seem like you're interacting with them, but also you're polling them, or you're pulling ideas from them, which is all he does anyway. Like, what's the problem? Hey, what's the next new game that's coming out that you guys think I might be interested in? Or what's the next new game? Let's scratch that first part, because that's just him being obsessed with himself. What's the next game that's coming out that you guys think might be interesting to watch? You know what I mean? Or what's the next game that you guys are thinking about playing or getting into? What's a good game that you guys are currently playing now that I'm not playing? So on and so forth. Phil always finds a way to rotate that shit back to himself anyway. These things aren't hard. You know what I'm saying? This is not that big of a deal. Oh well. That's what happens when you're just socially absorbed with yourself over anything else.
Doesn't make any sense. Darkside Chris tipped me $90. So thank you, Shao Khan Artist, for the $10 tip. And then I believe this is Jackalese. Tipped me $40. Got about 15 minutes left on the stream. Again, I want to say thanks to everyone tonight. I was not expecting this level of support out of nowhere. Thank you guys. Like I said, we went from $10 to $152. Like, almost instantaneously.
And that proves my point, too, when we go back to the vest streak. It wasn't uncommon to see nights like that. It wasn't uncommon at all. It was when he started demanding to hit the vest goal almost immediately after the stream starts, or coming out of the pre-stream, is when things started to dry up. And he was such a fucking idiot, right? That you hit the vest streak, you have nothing else really to add to it, because no one's really going to want to pay an additional $100 to get him to change vests or whatever. And by the time he got his $100, he didn't really give a shit about interacting with the chat anyway. He just wanted to go through the motions and play the game, and that was it. Shit, weren't there a couple of nights where he supposedly checked out early? Or clocked out early? So, yet again, there was no benefit to that except for him getting his money right away so he can feed his addiction and he doesn't look like a failure in front of the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics. And then that was it. It was done. What was done was done at that point. And I think people started to get tired of it. And they should have. You don't have to sit here and let this piece of garbage step all over you guys. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
You guys very much for that. And they threw money at him like crazy. And then finally, like a scam artist, he danced around stream like a preacher. And hallelujah, the money's coming in. Hallelujah. Platinum Festival Tuesday, what age did you graduate from collecting action figures to collecting digital? Oh, here we go. Here we go. And that's why he's banned. He's a piece of shit. Any moment, I can pick up a controller and I can play WWE champions at professional level.
Rebelin, I do interact with you guys who don't cheer or contribute otherwise all the time. Just because I didn't talk to you tonight because you didn't have anything particular interesting to say doesn't mean that I don't interact with people who don't contribute in that way. Contributions are not mandatory, nor are they expected, but they are greatly appreciated.
Remember, your contributions are mandatory and always will be mandatory.
Oh, he said I'm a liar. Well, Frablin, I mean, how about if I ban you? Would you like that? If I think I'm a horrible person who's a horrible liar, you probably don't want to be on my streams anymore, and I can actually aid you in your ability to not be on my stream. How about that? All right. Frablin, you literally just said that you don't that I don't talk to you, and basically you're annoyed at me, and now you say that you bought some kind of a program and you want to make music for the streams. Like you talk about being like a little bit more bipolar here. You literally, oh man, I'm so frustrated. Phil doesn't talk to anyone. This stream's boring. Oh, by the way, I just got new software. I want to make all new remix music for Phil. So it's like, you don't like me, but then you want to make music for me. So what are you talking about? What the fuck is going on?
They think this. They're that nuts.
Which an interesting. That was a bit of an interesting encounter because one, the dude's been around for a while, obviously. That's why Phil didn't just ban him outright. That's the first thing. Secondly, he's obviously someone who's contributed to Phil in some way, shape, or form before. Hence the reason why Phil wanted to keep him on the hook, but yet still gave him that veiled threat that he would ban him, which is kind of stupid because he probably would have unbanned him later on anyway. And three, maybe I'll speak for myself on this one actually. I don't think I appreciate enough what people do for him outside of giving him money directly. Because you got to understand, and I'm sure you guys understand, there are a bunch of things that are done for Darkside Phil that isn't money related and that keeps this supposed business running. All he does is sits down, plays the game poorly, and bitches and complains and begs. But there are other people who actually make shit happen. Like for his thumbnails, for the remixes, his overlays, well, whatever ones that he uses, stuff like that. Like there are other people making moves on his behalf daily. It's a small thing to forget. It really is. It's a small thing to forget.
Keep in mind the fact that I said numerous times that in the early 2000s to mid 2000s, I built gaming PCs for a hobby. You know, I'm a simple guy. I'm a gamer. I'm not a techie. I'm not a fucking guy that knows all the ins and outs of this shit. You're like talking to a lay person. You're talking to a gamer. You're not talking to an editor. You're not talking to a PC, builder. You're not talking to a techie guy. You're talking to a guy who just wants to sit down, press record, play a game, and have fun.
And right? That's the reason why he wants a new laptop and a new desktop. He doesn't, and he probably doesn't want something that he has to go in and deal with, like he did with that $3,000 lemon. He wants it to work right up out the box. He wants it to do what he needs it to do right away with nothing else, and he can go for it. Now, I would hope that he'll actually update his fucking software and shit on the regular this time around. And that might be his mindset. Oh, what's the point of updating this old PC and this old laptop? Excuse me, they're old. Why should I even bother with that? I'll just keep begging until I get a new one. And then I'll do the right thing with those pieces of equipment. These right here, they're already too far gone, despite the fact that you use them every day and you need them. And if he lost his laptop for whatever reason, if that shit burnt out or whatever the case may be, there's definitely not going to probably be no gameplay that day. He's probably just going to do an IRL stream from his desktop. If the desktop blows out, he's fucked. He is legitimately fucked. He would have to cough up the money himself, or he's going to have to do like an IRL stream through his phone to get the money to get a new desktop. If that desktop craps out on him, he's screwed. Like ASAP. The power supply dies out, or finally gives out, I should say. I'm surprised it hasn't done it yet. Especially since he runs the damn thing day in, day out. He never turns it off. He never turns it off. Oh, if that dies out, he's fucked. He's absolutely fucked. And then another thing that I should bring up, he actually wants to have a two PC streaming setup. He doesn't need that, obviously, but that's what he wants. So in actuality, it's not about just getting a brand new laptop and a brand new desktop. Theoretically, we want 2 new desktops and a new laptop. Just putting it out there.
Speculating who will be the next POG champ, right? Well, this morning Twitch came out and said no one will be because everyone will be. Huh? So here's what Twitch is doing, and this is already live if you guys want to test it. Every day, Twitch is going to put someone new as POG champ.
Oh my god!
What the fuck? Whoa! Whoa!
Stand his asshole, don't lose him.
Now, they haven't said where they're getting their suggestions from, or where they're pulling this information from, okay? They didn't say how many people will be included in the rotation for PogChamp. They just said, hey, every day we'll just have a new PogChamp, okay? So, we'll see what happens moving forward. But Here's the thing. Number
Well, we
one,
kind of already did. I don't know if any of Phil's emotes made it into that situation. I don't even know if they still even do that. All I know is the first couple of them went without a hitch, and then they got to this one dude who was caught up saying all kinds of silly shit and whatnot, and that was a big controversy. I don't know if the PogChamp thing stopped after that or not, but I don't think Phil ever got his day, if that makes sense. I don't think that was something that happened. Do I say that's a shame? No, I don't. I don't. Because even if it was given his 24-hour cycle, I mean, how much of an influx of like subs or even followers would he get? Not much. Some viewers to go by and check him out, maybe, or some of them would just look at it as just a hideous emote and wouldn't give a shit either which way. I don't know, but I'm certainly sure that it didn't happen, because if it did, he would have popped off on Twitter. He would have popped off on Twitter if that was a thing, and I don't think that ever did, and I don't think that ever came to fruition. So it doesn't matter.
I think this idea is interesting, because this is going to be giving exposure to people who maybe no one knows who the hell they are, and the next thing you know, boom, they're the PogChamp emote for the day, and it could make people actually want to figure out, who is this person? Can I find their channel? Can I see if this is some kind of content I'm interested in? It could be interesting for promotional purposes, but of course, if they only use giant streamers as the face of PogChamp, then there's no point, because people already know who they are. You see what I'm saying? Like, they really, who cares if it's fucking Ninja they're putting on there, right? The other thing is, the reason that the PogChamp emote, and let's be honest, the reason that any global emotes on Twitch get popular and people know them is because when it's a set, static emote that doesn't change, it becomes a meme, right? A lot of the emotes here on Twitch have become memes over the years because they're set and they don't change. I mean, Kappa, right? Who knows who the fuck that guy is, but everyone knows the Kappa emote, right? It's a meme. If you make an emote like PogChamp, and you change it every day, and it's not a static person or a static face, and it changes every day, it's gonna lose that memeability, I feel. I like the fact that there may be new people getting exposure. I just hope they're not gonna be picking giant streamers who don't need the exposure to be the face of PogChamp, because I think that would be a waste of time. At the very same time, I don't know how much longevity having a rotating PogChamp emote will be. It might be that after a couple weeks, no one cares about it anymore, you know? But we'll see. It'll certainly be an interesting experiment. All right.
I mean, in truth,
right.
How many people were talking about PogChamp before this controversy came up? It used to be one of the default emotes that you just get off the rip for Twitch. You know what I'm saying? And and especially during like the FGC shit, it would get spammed. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody knows it. Same thing with Kappa Face, for example, as well as others. But outside of that, I mean, how much emphasis were people really putting on that emote before the bullshit with Gutex happened? Not much. So, I mean, everything has its place, right? You know what I'm saying? Everything has its value given its situation and given the time period. It is what it is. If you want to look at it as just exposure, then so be it. I already talked about that. But, I mean, it wasn't going to add any longevity. It's not going to make anybody big overnight. You only have 24 hours with it, and how many people would really even use it? No matter who it was. And if you don't have a strong enough Twitter presence, no one's really going to know anyway outside of your followers, unless you have somebody bigger than you who is a fan of yours or at least thinks your emote looks funny, and then they tweet it out. Outside of that, that's it. So I don't know what he was really thinking he was going to get off of it, but that's not how. If he's looking to get some artificial boost, right, that's going to have long-term ramifications, that's not how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing of value is gained in the short term if there's no effort behind it. Period. His whole career kind of proves that in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? When he was rewarded with all of the success and all of the money, he fucked it all up because he wasn't willing to work hard to maintain it or to expand and make more, to do more, to be more. And in turn, he suffered. And that's why he's begging now. Well, he's always been begging, but that's why he begs to the extent that he begs now. And not just for money, ladies and gentlemen, but for clout, for recognition, for respect. If that's not pathetic, I don't know what is.
That's really all I have to talk about news-wise today. There's really nothing else going on. So
there's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that that was video number 2. We will go into our next music break, and I will see you for video number 3. See you guys in just a second. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh.
What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, that's... sounds good to me.
And ladies and gentlemen,
My bad. That was buggy click mechanics. But maybe this is the reason. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the third video that will make up our broadcast, brought to us by Snort, Burnell, DSP. Let's see. My 4th place finish at Evo. My 4th place at Evo 2005 was valid. I dominated the pros after warming up. Or I would dominate the pros after warming up. Which sounds ridiculous. This was published on January 9th of 2021. The link will be down in the description. No, this whole title is bullshit. I mean, not that. Let's reword that. The fact that Phil said this, I should say, is what makes it bullshit. The title's fine, but it's bullshit when you think about Phil's actual fighting game career. My 4th place at Evo 2005 was valid. I would dominate the pros after warming up. You're full of garbage. I put $10,000 against him against Smug right now in any game of Phil's choice, and I fit in a race to 10, and Smug would beat him. I got 10 racks on that. I will put $10,000 on this shit. Abso-fucking-lutely. I would bet. I'm not gonna put 10 on him. I'd put 2,000 on fucking low tier God that he could beat him in a race to 5. In Street Fighter 5 or Third Strike. I got 2,000 on low tier God. Easy for that. That's easy money. And a race to 10. Alright, let's hear his excuses behind it. Matter of fact, I put $10,000 on Maximilian. Easy. In Street Fighter 5, Super Turbo, or Third Strike in a race to 10. And I think that Maximilian would beat him. I think Maximilian would beat him. I think it'd be close though. I think Max would win I think it'd be like 10-6 in Max's favor. Maybe it might be 10-7 in Max's favor. Cuz Phil's going to have a lot of incentive to want to win. Yeah, I'd say that. If he played Smug, that's like 10-2 in Smug's favor, easy. And then low tier God, if it's Third Strike, I'd say I'll say low tier God would probably beat him 10-6. If it was Third Strike, Super Turbo would be obviously much closer. And if it was Street Fighter V, I think Phil would get blown out. I think I'd give Low Tier God 10-2. Easy. Easy money. Easy money. Holy shit.
I received a $100 tip from Jax Raxer.
Okay. The Man of Orange tipped me $2. Said, is it usual criticism that your winning Evo was not authentic because it was a Neo Geo port valid or stupid? It wasn't a Neo Geo port. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Super Turbo, I don't think was ever even on Neo Geo because Neo Geo is an SNK console. Why would a Capcom game be on it? No. The port was a PS1 port. And at the time, it was the only mainstream console version outside of Dreamcast, but they didn't want to use Dreamcast because they felt that the Dreamcast was the non-reliable console at the time. So, which it wasn't. They ended up using Dreamcast for Marvel 2 anyway. But, no, they used the PS1 version, and was it illegitimate? No. What it was different. It had different things to it that if you practiced it, you would have learned the differences. That's exactly what I did. Everyone was complaining, we want arcade. I complained that year, too, that I wanted arcade. I publicly said on srk.com.
But see, that could be said for anything. But let's go ahead. But by that thesis, right? Or by that notion, by that bit of pignosis, if you will, let's go ahead and play with that. So, if you practice it, if you would, the game wasn't invalid, it was different. And if you had sat there and practiced it, you would learn the differences and you would be set. All right, fair enough. He's been playing 30th anniversary since what? 2018? Since the game came out. And he's been progressively getting worse. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Now, granted, he said practice. How much time people have to practice depends on how they manage their time. But he plays this, he dedicates playing this game 2 hours a week for 4 weeks. What's that? 8 hours a month. Right? Plus all of the fucking experience in air quotes and all of the talent that he has in air quotes that he has behind that. 20 plus years he has devoted to this. And he's progressively getting worse. Someone tell me something about that. Someone explain that to me, please.
I think that it should be arcade version. But Evo outright denied it and said over and over, no, we're doing PS1 version. Everyone said, well, that's fucking stupid. I agreed. And I said, but you know what? Instead of sitting here and bitching, I'm going to actually play that version and learn it and then play it in the tournament. So I did. I played the shit out of that version both at home and then when I went to the tournament for like 2-3 straight days, I just practiced the PS1 version. So when I actually got to the competitive play, I knew the differences. I knew Vega was even better. I knew Chun-Li was even better. And I also knew that certain characters like Balrog and Old Sagat were not as good in that version. So I played those characters like Vega and did insanely well. While other people didn't practice, just sat there and whined and didn't enter at all or just complained and never practiced and they all lost.
Well, the ones who sat there and bitched and I know I've said this before, but the ones who bitched and complained about it weren't really taking it seriously anyway. Like, it turned into a meme tournament, at least that year. And understandably so, Evo was trying to move away from the arcade cabinets and move on to consoles and whatnot because they wanted to kind of expand and so on and so forth and make it a bit more accessible and whatnot. Because like I said, the arcade age was starting to die out. You're only a couple of years out from the Street Fighter 4 series being introduced, which, excuse me, saved Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say it saved the fighting game scene in general. It just saved Street Fighter. If any of you guys have ever been to Mexico, for example, they live for their fucking SNK shit out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you've ever watched any of the tournaments that they've held in Mexico, they live for the SNK stuff out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dudes are dedicated. Most of the top guys have arcade machines in their home. But then again, they're not... I don't know if I would say an arcade cabinet is so much expensive, more to the fact of you being able to find a functional one. I think that's where the real situation comes into play. Because I remember... because I watch a lot of Maximilian. Max has a CVS2 cabinet. I don't know if he has a Third Strike cabinet and a Marvel cabinet. I think he has another cabinet besides CVS2. But that CVS2 cabinet he was looking for a long time. Capcom versus SNK2 for clarification. He was looking for that cabinet for a long time until he finally bought it. I mean, until he was able to get it. He was looking for a while. You know what I'm saying? And it's not exactly the easiest to come from. There's a place in Chicago that actually has like one of the largest arcades probably in the country at the moment. where it's solely dedicated. Like, they have a part of the arcade that's solely dedicated to fighting games. And people have tried to buy their Marvel machines, their Street Fighter 2, their Street Fighter Championship Edition, their Street Fighter 2 Turbo machines, and the guy won't sell it. Because he's, it took him a lot of years to acquire those things, and he wants to share it with other people. And as far as I know, hopefully the arcade's still open. At least I hope. But if I was to buy a cabinet, he's probably the first person I would have called. If you guys follow Flow, if you guys follow Flow at all, he's talked about that arcade plenty of times. Maximilian has gone to a lot of the well-known guys in the fighting game community, because they've held tournaments in Chicago back in the day, have gone there and gone to this arcade. It's hard to find those things, because trust me, if I could find a Marvel vs. Capcom 2, a CVS 2 cabinet, those are really the only two. I mean, Third Strike is all well and good, but as it pertains to Third Strike, I'd want a Third Strike cabinet, meaning that it has all 3 Third Strikes in it. The first one, Second Impact, and Third Strike, and that does exist. Or you can just modify your boards to make them to make them accommodable, or you can find someone else that can do that for you. But that's kind of what I'd want to shoot for that. But like I said, it's really about finding the cabinets, if you will, and whatnot. One day I might actually sit there and actually take a look and actually do that, just so I can give you guys a better frame of reference. But there's that.
It's unfair, or it's not legit. I mean, they announced way ahead of time, this is the version that's going to be at EVO. Yes, people complain, but you had plenty of time to practice that version. You know what I mean? That would be like saying, okay, we're going to have an NBA 2K tournament, but we're playing the Xbox version at the tournament. But you scream and complain, well, the PlayStation version is the official version, it's the better version, but the tournament says, well, we're playing on Xbox. So you don't practice the Xbox version, you don't realize maybe the timing's a little different, or there's some slight nuance that's different, then you go and play in the tournament and lose and you complain about it. Oh, it's illegitimate. It's like, but you knew you were entering an Xbox tournament. So why did you not prepare for it? That's exactly what happened at that tournament. Now the thing is,
Oh my god, he's drinking gin.
you can argue and say that's not legit. Okay, then why is it that for the entire next 2 to 3 years, every Super Turbo tournament I entered, whether it was the PlayStation 2 version, the Anniversary Edition collection that came out, there was like 2 or 3 other versions that every tournament just kept deciding to adopt a new one. Why was I placing at every tournament after that? It wasn't like, oh, well, it was a flash in the pan.
That's actually a fair argument. Mainly, well, here's my question. So I'm gonna basically ask a question to a question. Why is it that all of your best showings were on console ports? His notable showings, right, were on console ports. Why is that a thing? Now, I'm just throwing that out there just for clarification's sake. Now let's move on to his initial question. They were all on consoles. And they were all, in some way, shape, or form, subpar from the original game that he bitches about every Friday night, by the way. They were all, by far, inferior to the original version of the game. And the fact that you placed at a bunch of those tournaments is one thing. But last time I checked, though, we weren't giving out participation trophies. Why didn't you win all of those tournaments? I mean, Jesus Christ, in 2006, people... I can't remember if he coined it himself or if other people... I think he coined it. He was running around saying he was an AE... He was an AE specialist. Anniversary Edition, for clarification's sake. Yet again, another console port. He was an Anniversary Edition fucking specialist. And he still got cleaned up at EVO that year. Matter of fact, if you go even further than that, I know I've already done it, he said that they conspired against him. Same thing in 2007, too. So you had all this time to train at home. Then you went to EVO 2005 a week early, right, to go ahead and train, and you still got beat out by 3 players who had never played that version before, but were able to survive, adapt, and overcome, and you got beasted. And then you knew you got beasted. You knew you got embarrassed given the circumstances and whatnot, because you had all the advantages you needed, right? You know what I'm saying, that anybody could have ever had, which put you over the other American players who weren't taking the tournament that seriously in the first place, right? But didn't make excuses on why they lost. They were just like, it's different than what we were used to. Yes, we probably should have given it more time. Yes, we probably should have taken it more seriously. Oh well, no biggie. You know what I'm saying? Not that big of a deal. You were the one running around saying, I took fourth. I'm the number one ranked North American player that year. You know, where's my respect? And no one had to give that to you. You took fourth. You took fourth. No one had to give you anything about anything.
Fluke that Phil once placed at Evo, and that was it. I went ahead and for the next 2 to 3 years was
Dominating the tournament circuit in Super Turbo everywhere I went.
Dude.
There was one year, the year after that, it actually was, I qualified at so many qualifiers for Evo that they had to eliminate some of the qualifications that I had and give it to other people. I went all around the country qualifying for Evo, and I had like 5 qualifying spots for the fucking finals to get seeds, so they gave away 4 of my spots to other people who had placed under me. But this is what I mean. People want to ignore all that and say, oh.
First off, he did that for clout. First off and foremost. 2, they don't stack. Like they were, like they don't stack. It wasn't going to be like, okay, you've got 5 qualifying wins and whatnot, and so now we can go ahead and give that to you, and that's going to push you even further up. It don't work that way. On top of that, and keep in mind, I'm still looking this up, he didn't have to actually win those qualifiers to get seeded. I think he only needed to be within top 8. I think he only needed to be within top 8 to qualify. He didn't need to actually win the tournament to do that. So it wasn't like second and third place. Oh, well, you guys don't get to qualify for the tournament if you took third or second or third at this qualifier. I don't think that's how it was. I think everybody in top 8 end up getting seeding. Because if you go back to the Evo, okay, here, let me give you another example. Scratch that previous part. There was a time where Evo basically extended its reach out to all other majors on the East Coast, the West Coast, the North and the South, to like Final Round, like Texas Showdown, like all these different places. That hey, the guys who placed the highest at your tournament, we'll give you guys these certificates, and that means that they've made it into Evo. That means they get seeding, right? So it was like Evo qualifiers, but for multiple games, and they did it for every major tournament that meant anything. You know what I'm saying? So this is after the Evo East and Evo West. They eventually expanded out to everything a little, or they were a bit more. They defined the criteria a little better, I should say. With that being said, there was, I think the dude's name was Hiei. I've spoken about him before. This was during Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I don't know where the dude was from. He might have been from Texas, but I don't know where the guy was from. But he was, he was fucking amazing. He was, he was considered a genius when it came to, what team was that? It was Zero, Dante, yeah, it was Zero, Dante, Virgil, I think, was the team he was playing. Because, all right, I won't go into it because I've gone into it before. To make a long story short, he ended up winning Texas. He was amazing. That's all I can tell you. He was fucking amazing. The dude went to a Texas Showdown that year. He ended up winning, but the whole tournament was fucked for whatever fucking reason. He got pissed off. He ripped his qualifier up. Whatever. Okay, the point being is that, yes, he won the tournament, and yes, he got the seeding, but at that time, the seeding was linked to a point system as well, right? So let's say he had gone to multiple tournaments that were part of the Evo qualifier system at that time. The more points he accumulates, the higher and higher and higher he would move up in his seeding. He would still be seeded, but he would move up into better and better placing. What Phil is talking about is what eventually came about later on. But back in his day, they didn't have that. So him holding on to 5 Evo seedings doesn't mean shit because you can only use one. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, and this is kind of the more important part of it, it was just clout chasing. That's all he was doing. He was trying so hard to prove that he wasn't a fluke in 2005, that he put himself in massive amount of debt in 2006 and 2007 to prove his worth. And he still failed. He still failed. And people said that he was even more exposed because you ain't dedicated all this time and effort to the 2 versions that came after 2005, and you still fucked up. You still fucking lost. So what good are you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Did that not put him in, I guess you could say, top player status? Some people even debate that. Some people debate that. Because if it was all on cabinet like it was supposed to, and as most of his tournament experience on cabinet actually is actually recorded, he got blown out more often than not. Just saying. And then to finish my point, and then we'll move on. I don't think you had to take first to get a qualifier spot. I think you only needed to be. It must have been either top. It had to be at least top 8. So anybody in the top 8 potentially could have gotten a spot. So that means he didn't even have to win those tournaments. He may have not. He may have just placed high enough to get a qualifying spot. So just something to think about.
Because Phil played a PS1 version, it's illegitimate. Well, no. I played a PS1 version. I played Anniversary Edition. I played the other PS2 version of the game that came out after that. And by the way, I also placed on arcade cabinet tournaments, all within a 3-year span. And no one said shit then, but now all of a sudden, let's erase that because we're a bunch of fucking idiots trying to have an agenda instead of looking at the facts. So these people can just go fuck themselves. These are not competitive players who are criticizing my placings. People who were around back then at the time and played against me admitted I was good. Go ask the people I was playing against from the years of 2005 through like 2008 if Phil's good at Super Turbo, and they'll tell you yes. No one's gonna say no. Everyone knew it. Top players from all around the country wanted to play me because they knew I was good, and it was a good thing to play the best, to get the best competition in, and to learn the best strategies. It's
That's
just
not
dumb
true
shit
either.
that
So, and Ann Lee or Ann Leet, I'm sorry, I always fuck up the pronunciation of his name, but I'm just gonna say Ann Lee. Ann Lee's video actually, that's the video I went over. Actually, disproves all this bullshit. It blows Phil completely up and out the water. But if you go even a little bit further than that, the reason why people were headhunting Phil is because they were trying to demean him. They were trying to shit on him. Like, he talked all that shit, and people wanted to see, you know what I'm saying, where his skills lied. And he got beasted. More often than not. He got beasted. Like I said, Phil beaten some notable players in his day. Sure, absolutely. No one can take that away from him. Is he as good as he says he is? Or was he as good as he says he is? No. Not even close. Even back then, people were already picking apart his strategies and everything and said that this is subpar gameplay at best. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he's such a pattern player and he's not willing and he can't adapt to his situation and he can't change his strategy up, it just makes it even worse. And that's what it comes down to. You guys see this now. He's so much of a reactionary player who has some memorization of what's the word I'm looking for? He has some memorization of matchups, means jack shit about jack shit. Your reflexes are bad, and then more importantly, the very matchups that you're sitting here bitching and complaining about that should go to your favor because it was printed or someone wrote that shit a decade ago, or if not longer, means jack shit to what the situation is now. The very players or the very characters that are said to be of low tier or certainly not good enough to compete are competing, if not winning. You know what I'm saying? Now, if nothing else, which is something that the Street Fighter community needed in general. Not to say that tier lists aren't important or don't have value. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the tier lists from 15, 20 years ago, or whatever, well, 10 to 20 years ago, I should say, don't mean anything now when you have a whole new group of people looking at it with a whole new set of eyes and are willing to, and aren't, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the term I'm looking for? Are not caught up in the FGC bubble, which word is law, if you will. Like that right there diminished a long time ago. For perfect example, when Justin Wong said when Adon was introduced into the Street Fighter 4 series, he had gotten to test him early. He said that he thought the character was garbage. He thought he didn't have enough tools, and he wasn't going to be a threat. He wasn't going to be anything about anything. Now, Justin had the time and the experience to play Adon before everybody else did, so he could say those things. And Justin's a notable player. And then Gamer B came along, and all that shit got shut the fuck down. Then Gamer B showed up and shut all that shit the fuck down. End of story. You just need a new set of eyes to look at a situation. That's what it is with DSP now. Look at the detractor FGC. They prove him wrong on the daily. Like, you know what I'm saying? They prove him wrong on the daily. And a lot of those dudes don't play in the, air quotes, conventional way that people used to play back in Phil's day. It's night and day. The game has changed. As time has moved on, as Phil says, so has the game itself. You're bitching about tactics, right? Or stats that don't mean anything now. If someone really was to take the time to look at Third Strike or even Super Turbo and reevaluate the tier list based off of how people are playing now, the tier list would be a little bit different. Now, don't me wrong. You still have to take in the strengths and weaknesses of each character in particular. But if you really sit there and watch, and this would take hundreds, if not thousands of hours, I would guess. If you were to sit there and take in how people play these characters now and how they would match up in a tournament setting, which that tournament setting would have to be online given the circumstances or whatnot, I think it would be different. Even if you went to a landline situation where once the pandemic, it's not going to ever go away. Like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, COVID's going to be with us from here on out. We're going to have to deal with it. But when it gets into a situation where you can have social gatherings where it can still be a bit more safer, hopefully, I still think the tournament, the matchups and whatnot, the matchup board would be different. I think it would be modified compared to what it was back in Phil's day. I think that's what progression is. That's what evolution is. You know what I'm saying? Yet again, you have a very stagnant person going off of information that's almost as old as he fucking is. Yet he's competing with people that are possibly younger than him. So, I mean, what good is any of that? And you're someone who works, air quotes, in an industry, right, that is constantly evolving. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's plenty of shitty people in this fucking industry, but there's always somebody or a group of people that are always trying to push the game along, right? Or push the genre along, or push the industry along or whatnot. It's constantly evolving. I don't think Phil looks at it that way, but he should. He's privileged to be able to do what he does. He does it so poorly because he doesn't see the value in it, because he feels like his glory days on YouTube cements him and gives him seniority and was enough for him to be able to reap the rewards he has now. But he doesn't reap anything. You're just begging. You're begging for the sake of begging. You're a day one person now. And you devolved by your own volition. But it's your own fault. Nothing I said dehumanized you more than what you did to dehumanize yourself. I was just assholeish enough to say what everybody was already thinking. You may not like it, but that doesn't make it any less true.
It's makeup.
Sure.
Suk Maya Cook. Suk Maya Cook. Ooh, I got beaten by Suk Maya Cook. Ooh. Oh my god. Alright, Jasper Kitty. Jasper Kitty, you have to get down from in front of the TV. You can't stay there. I'm playing video games.
Uh-oh. I see Goji. And Phil already went ahead and sprayed his piggy juice over that previous nonsense. Well, this should be good. We'll see what he does though. Does he run?
Jasper Kitty, could you please move, or do I have to spray you with this? Do I have to spray him with this bottle, or will he move? What do you think? If I stand up, he'll move, but he's annoying because he knows I have to stand up to do it. Look at this. Jasper, that's it. Now you're in trouble. You're in trouble now. That's it. I'm coming for you, Jasper. I'm coming for you. That's it. You're in trouble. That's it. That's it. Ah, I tickled him. I tickled his body. Jasper, there's a piece of fuzz. Oh, he ate it. There's a piece of fuzz on the floor. He ate it. What are you doing? Ew. Ew. It's a piece of was. Why did you eat it?
Wait a second.
That's disgusting.
In a previous episode, right, in a previous broadcast, I should say, we went over an episode where Jasper was sneezing and coughing or whatnot. Now, granted, Jasper's a cat. Cat's going to throw up hairballs. I wonder how many hairballs are in that house that they haven't found yet. I really wonder about that. Because you know it exists. You know what I'm saying? You know it exists. And Phil's definitely not in tune with Jasper like that. You know what I'm saying? I would assume off stream he don't give a rat's ass about Jasper. Only Catherine does. So I bet you there's a few of them hiding behind a dresser, under the bed, somewhere, and they just haven't found it yet. Ew. Oh, that's gonna be a magical surprise when that comes about.
Disgusting. Ugh. He sucked it right up. You're not a Roomba. Oh, man.
That makes me cringe.
What's going on, TJ Gamebox? Sukamaya Kook doesn't want to sook any Kook tonight. He doesn't want to play, apparently. Goji Tanks, what's going on? Anyone playing tonight? No, Goji Tanks quit. Sukamaya Kook doesn't want to play. And then we got the troll coming in, which we knew that was going to happen. We knew that was going to happen, so let's see if I can get into another lobby. Okay, good. Got right into another lobby.
No, Jasper. Jasper Kitty, get down. That's it, Jasper. You're in trouble. Get down right now. He's pushing the TV over. Jasper, get down, I said. Do not go up there. You're going to keep pushing the TV over. You're going to break it, man. Yeesh. I don't want to lock you out of the office, but you got to behave. I mean it. He doesn't listen. You jumped up and started pawing the TV, pushing it backwards. Oh my god, if that TV breaks one day, I'm fucked. Well, how am I supposed to work? Oh.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I'm low key waiting for that day to happen. I'm low key waiting for that day to happen. As my only caveat is as long as it doesn't fall on Jasper. But it won't. I guarantee you the moment that shit starts going Jasper's way, like any cat with good reflexes, he gonna be out the motherfucking way. And then we see what Phil's real reflexes are. Does Phil be like, Jasper, no! Jasper, oh no! And then does he drop everything to try to catch the TV, end up slipping on one of the cords or wires that are scattered around his fucking floor, trips and falls, the TV falls on him? Or does he catch it, but yet he slips and falls and shit, and the TV still breaks, and he's sitting there bitching and complaining? There's all kinds of different ways that shit could go out. I should make a poll. We should start taking bets. Virtual bets, of course. But I should make a poll on that. That's going to be funny when that happens. Oh, that's going to be funny. And the compilations of that shit's going to be hilarious. It's going to be hilarious. Especially if he ends up knocking over his laptop stand with his laptop on it. Which ends up shitting on his fucking mic. And he knocked his webcam over too. Ladies and gentlemen, potentially 60 to 70% of his setup could be destroyed if that shit happens. Whoa. Phil better start making adjustments now while he can. Because if not, that shit could end very poorly. He worried about the TV. If you look at the bigger picture and all those wires that are skewered everywhere, he could easily fuck up a console, if not all of them. He could easily knock his laptop over. The mic could get fucked, as if the mic isn't already fucked, from what I'm hearing. Could be an interesting time, ladies and gentlemen. Could be a very interesting time.
Bullshit. Bullshit, I didn't do anything! What? Dude, I'm not doing anything. He's getting all these kicks. Look at that. I'm not doing anything. I'm just waiting, and he's getting low kicks standing roundhouse, yet I'm not attacking, so it shouldn't hit. Even if one hits, he shouldn't get 2 hits in a row. That means the connection sucks shit. It's complete bullshit. Complete fucking bullshit.
All I can taste is the saltiness.
Her fucking, I know you can combo it, but I don't know how. His fucking jumping attacks are so odd, I don't know how to use them. Yeah, I don't know how to use them. He's a fucking stupid character. No 360. Yep, that works. That does work.
First off, I haven't forgot about that Detractor FGC tournament, by the way. I haven't forgot about that. So please do not worry, but keep reminding me about it. But I haven't forgotten about it. Secondly, you can clearly hear him mashing consistently. There is very few times, if any, where you actually hear him not pressing a button. It's blatant mashing. Blatant mashing. So how is that being skillful at all? That's wild, dude. That right there, it gives even more credence. I don't remember whose video that was. Was that like a Soma Julius Cruz video? That third strike one. Any of you guys who are patched into Detractor kind of FGC stuff, early stuff, you know what I'm talking about. Where they were able to see all of the mapping of Phil's button presses. And all it was just blatant spam. Blatant spam. I bet you anything, if anybody was willing to take the time to look. You go back to some of his Street Fighter 4 stuff, and if you could find those archives, you would find blatant spamming there too. That's not skills. That's not skillful, ladies and gentlemen. That's not like perfect timing or whatever. It's spam for the sake of spam. Yet again, overcompensating, and usually end up getting fucked in the end because of it.
The jab beats it! Jab beats that. So that means that the timing of the jab didn't have to actually align with the super. Jab beats the super. Oh my god.
My mouth is full of salt.
Wait, he wouldn't have known. Wait a second, he wouldn't have known that because it's a super, it's still going to have frame advantage. So even if they traded, more than likely the super would have beaten it out as long as Blanca has the vitality, if you will, to take that initial jab, which he could have. So whatever, semantics, whatever.
Wow, moving around. Yeah, this sucks. Because he got the first hit, I can't do anything now. Yep, it's bullshit.
Because he got the first hit, I can't do anything now. What kind of logic is that? But also, ladies and gentlemen, you should take this in that he looks at everything as a disadvantage. If he can't get the first hit in, if he can't learn the first combo, if he can't land the first crossover or whatever, he automatically accepts it that he just lost. That's sad. All those years in the FGC didn't teach him jack shit about jack shit. About hit first. Basically, he looks at it as hit first, hit the hardest, and pray that no one can hit you back. That's probably why he doesn't leave his house at all.
I now counter hit him to get him at a disadvantage, and I can't do it because of the lag.
Basically, here's a whiny baby.
That was uppercut, didn't come out. Why? Oh, that's bullshit. Can't block on reaction, too laggy. Why, I can't even get a basic combo. It's too much fucking lag. Yeah, I can't do nothing right now. Whoa! Okay, I couldn't do anything again. I can't do low jab, low kick, low jab, low short, low medium, standing roundhouse. It doesn't even come out. It doesn't matter because the lobby was just ruined. With the trolls coming in, 2 people quit. 2 people fucking quit for no reason.
I'm getting older. My reactions are getting slower. I suck.
So I just do the same move over and over, and nothing I can do about it because of the fucking lag. It's so stupid. What the fuck? No Shoryuken. No Shoryuken. I can't do it. I'm not gonna do this. It's laggy. What? I'm in the middle of a hit string. Short, roundhouse fireball. He mashes punch and gets 100 hands through it. Dude, that's a complete scrub mode gameplay. The guy sucks. He literally just sits there and does heavy headbutts.
But see, he's wrong though too. And here's the thing: he has to know what pianoing is. By the way, for Honda in particular, I don't know if it works like that for Chun-Li and her lightning kicks, but for Honda, you essentially need 5 inputs for. If I remember correct, yeah, I think it's like 4. No, it might be 5. You either need 4 or 5 inputs in succession. You know what I'm saying? In rapid succession, I should say, for 100 hand slap to come out. Pianoing is light, medium, jab. Is it jab, short? No, short's kick. Anyway, the 3 punches: light, medium, hard, then light, medium. Depending on what button you start off with, will depend on the strength of the 100 hand slap. Obviously, if you start with light, you're going to end off with medium. If you start with medium, you should end off with. If you end with medium, you should end off with medium actually, because medium, hard, light. No, you should end off with fierce. And then you should end off with fierce. And if you start off with fierce, Be fierce, light, medium, fierce, light. Okay, there you go. If you go by the 5 input stipulation. And you can piano that out, basically. It's just quick succession. It's really, really fast. It's really, really easy. It's not something that... Blanca's electricity works that way, too. If you like I said, you have to practice it a little bit, but it's a really, really great tactic to use. Same thing with negative edging. If for any of you guys out there who are currently playing. But you need to get 5 button inputs, if you will. I don't know if you can negative edge that though. Speaking of which, negative edging, just in case you guys don't know, is in Capcom games in general, or in the Street Fighter series, when if let's say you were going to do a fireball or a hurricane kick or whatever, or sure you can, you do the motion, you press the button. If you press and hold the button, right? I'll use fireballs because it's easier. Do quarter circle forward and press punch for fireball and hold the button down. As soon as the fireball either hits or exits the screen, do the motion and lift your finger from the button, and a fireball will come out again. That's called negative edging. I don't know if you can do that when you piano, or if you're trying to piano though. I don't know if it'll work like that. It might, but I don't know. But but negative edging is a very good tactic as well. But if someone's pianoing, you can get out 100 hand slap very, very quickly, especially if whatever hit that they took doesn't put them in doesn't have a long lasting stun. So, and Phil should know that. Phil should clearly know that.
About it because of the lag. I can't react to it. I can't even block it from full screen. Terrible gameplay. He quit. Fuck this. That was my worst nightmare right there. That was seriously my worst nightmare, man.
I mean, at this point, though, in truth, we shouldn't be surprised that he runs from Goji. He runs from Goji in the exact same way, more often than not, as he did with a Rugal Bernstein or Evil AJ. So, none of us should be surprised by that. Who's the next person out there that's doing really, really well for themselves? Besides Goji, of course. Is that Chaos Wolf? That's going to be the next dude he's going to run away from. And if I remember correctly, Goji is not only playing Third Strike, but he's also trying to get better at Super Turbo. And I wish him the best of luck, because I know he can do it. I think Chaos Wolf is doing the exact same thing. I think Chaos Wolf is really focusing on Third Strike, but I think he's also doing Super Turbo, and I think he's playing, what is that, Hyper Fighting? I think he's also playing Hyper Fighting as well, which, to be honest with you, you can be good at Super Turbo and Hyper Fighting, so to speak. There are differences, but it'll give you a stronger foundation. Once that happens, Phil isn't going to be able to go nowhere. He's not going to be able to go nowhere with those two. He's just going to have to run from them. It's going to be flee on sight. You know what I'm saying? Fourth Hokage all over again. He's just going to have to flee on sight. That's going to be hilarious when that happens.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have nightmares about what just happened.
Oh my god, he's drinking gin.
Alright guys, let's talk or something. You guys cheer me up. I can't, dude, that match destroyed me. That match destroyed me on the inside, and we need to fucking talk about something. Frabalin, if you keep asking stupid questions, I'm just gonna ban you, so we don't have to read your stupid questions anymore. So just stop.
But
right
I thought
now.
you said they had to ask you something because you were just got destroyed. Hurtful. And cheer yourself. You're a grown ass man. Cheer yourself up. Think about your lovely wife and the meal that she's gonna make for you tomorrow or some shit. Say Jesus Christ.
Snake. I can't even speak English anymore. Snaky Fish Gaming was asking me, do I feel that if I went and I actually played some pros in this game right now, and I guess he's talking about Super Turbo, do you think I would still be able to hang and be good, or would I be, like, not doing it as well because, you know, I'm rusty and I've only been playing this collection? Let me put it this way, at first I might be rusty, but honestly for me, like, all the time that I kind of go to play high-level people, I can usually, remember stuff that...
Stop. Not because that mini belch. That's just disgusting. But, no. He'd get beasted. He'd get beasted hard as fuck. This dude goes out of his way to pick Super Turbo when he gets the option. All the time. And he's getting beasted more and more often. And these guys aren't pro players. Or at least as far as we know. Not all of them are anyway. You're telling me if someone really came up there and knew what they were doing, he wouldn't get bodied? Matter of fact, who was that Blanca player he ended up running to a while ago? That was really, that, you know, on Detractor Twitter they were talking about it really big, and he beasted Phil early. Now, granted, even if they were in a long-term session, I think Phil would quit before anything else anyway. Because when Phil is usually getting outplayed, he's gone. Troll or not, he is usually gone. You know what I mean? Even if he gets a couple of matches in, eventually he's gonna leave because he's like, I can't beat him. And that's his mentality. He doesn't want to. At the end of the day, it's a Street Fighter session. Wins, losses, who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? You get bodied in fucking Call of Duty on the regular, and you play that twice a week. Who gives a shit if you lose a bunch of matches in Super Turbo? As long as you're learning something. But he's not like that. Like, he's not wired that way. He needs to win. He needs to verify and validate that the time he's putting in will give something back. Well, if you're going to live like that, that's the reason why you're living the way you are now. It makes sense if you think about it.
I've forgotten pretty relatively quickly, or I can adapt right away. I'm a very adaptable player.
That's 100% a lie.
You goddamn right,
Like,
that's a fucking lie. You goddamn right, that's a fucking lie. All of his time, what is it? The Legend of Goji Tanks? Volume 1 and 2 prove that. It proves that he has no versatility, he has no adaptability. The fuck are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about?
I'll see people doing a strategy or whatever, and I'll say, okay, wait a minute, let me think about this. I'll try a new strategy, and next thing you know, I'll be able to like adapt around it. That's a good thing about me, is I feel like when I play, that's how, honestly.
Yes, Burnell actually brings up a really great point about how he makes the same mistakes over and over again. That's why when, I think you see it a lot in the Legend of Goji Tanks, the first part. Goji Tanks used to hit him with the same setup over and over and over again, and Phil would say, I don't know how to deal with that. Or, I'm tired of him doing the same thing over and over again. He wouldn't keep doing it if you responded in a way that kept it from being effective, if that makes sense. Right? Like in any fighting game, right? There's a mind game to it. I'm gonna try to be brief about this because it's so much to get into and whatnot. I'd rather just do a video dedicated to Street Fighter than I could flush out at least what little I know a little better. There's a mind game to this shit. Like when you think about matchups, when you think about like reflexes or reactions or whatever, that's all one part of a much larger thing, right? But that goes into this. There is something called training and conditioning your opponent, right? And what it is essentially you use a tactic or you use a couple of tactics over and over and over again in certain situations to see how your opponent reacts to it. If they react poorly, a Philism, then you keep doing it until they adapt to it. Once they figure out a way to beat that tactic, you adjust that tactic. So it's a give and take type process. Phil doesn't come into fighting games with that philosophy. He never did. He doesn't understand it. His whole purpose, or the way he looks at Street Fighter or fighting games in general, is I react to what you're doing, and if I do, I win. Which is stupid. And I don't give a fuck who wants to defend that shit. It's stupid. It's stupid to only try to react to what your opponent's doing and expect to win each and every time. That's kind of retarded. I'm sorry. Hashtag I'm not sorry. Don't at me. It's kind of retarded. There's so much more that goes into that. Because you're not learning anything. You're just trying to beat the other person out. That's not good enough. And that's why when you go back, like, let me give you a great example. Go back and watch the old matches between Justin Wong and Daigo, and throughout the Street Fighter 4 series, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's mental chess being played on a two-dimensional plane, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot that goes into that. There's a whole fucking philosophy behind fighting games and FGC games and whatever, right? And if you're looking at it merely from a reactionary standpoint, you're not going to get very far. Because eventually, your reaction and reflexes are going to either leave you, right? Or you're going to find someone who has better reactions and reflexes, and yet still understand the philosophy and is living through it. One of the reasons. There's a bunch of reasons why Goji Tanks is successful. And even though Goji Tanks is known for his Sean, and this is no disrespect to Goji, because I've got the utmost respect for Goji, I think his Alex is fucking devastating. I think his matches where Goji Tanks is playing, when Goji plays his Alex against Phil, it's oh my god, it's such a one-sided beatdown. It's one of the few times that I legitimately watched Phil play Street Fighter and I felt something that just wasn't outright laughter, or I wasn't befuddled in some way. Like, I don't want to go as far as saying I felt bad, but I was like, this is the little maybe I'm not the heartless bastard that I think I am, but like, it was devastating to watch it. It was devastating to watch Goji Tank's Alex to manhandle Phil like that. That was some wild shit to watch. Like Goji Tanks was doing it at will. It was doing it at will. It was like, oh. So when he moved to Sean, it was like, oh wow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like his Sean's like really incredible, but his Alex is devastating. Oh my god. That shit was, oh, you get PTSD from watching Phil getting beasted like that. God damn. Anyway, there's a whole philosophy behind all of it. And if you watch how Goji Tanks with Sean would train Phil to get fucked in these certain type of situations, Phil don't understand it. He don't understand why he's being put into the situation that he's put in, and why the outcome is coming out the way it does. And no matter how he tries to parry it, or how he tries to throw out a couple of lights to try to beat it out, he still was getting beasted. And the reason why is because Goji Tanks already had set the battlefield up. He had set the battlefield. He already had the tactics and everything. You have to do something to beat it. But even if he did, Goji Tanks would just readjust it. And there's like 3 or 4 different situations where Goji Tanks would do something, would come at Phil basically the same way, and Phil just couldn't figure it out. He legitimately couldn't figure it out. And that right there told me everything that I think I needed to know, and where the detractor FGC is going to eventually go sooner than later. Phil is tapped out mentally when it comes to Street Fighter in general. His memory bank is, that hard drive it's outdated and whatnot. And it's eventually gonna either need to be reformatted, or he needs to give up playing Street Fighter. I don't think his particular mindset is done. It's outdated. When you listen to people like Alex Valle, James Chan, even Maximilian, when you listen to these people talk about Street Fighter and the philosophy that goes into it, you're talking about people who've played it as long as Phil has, if not longer. And you can see how their philosophy has changed over the years and how they've grown. Not just as people, but how they look at Street Fighter and how they interact with it. You know what I'm saying? Phil hasn't. He's stuck in the same fucking bubble that he's been in for decades. And he can't get out because it's all he has. Because what little, air quotes, and I mean this in the in the most barren sort of way possible, what little success he was able to derive out of Street Fighter is off what little he knows. And he can't give that up because it's the only success he's ever had. And if he gets rid of it, he has to admit to himself that he's never very good. Period. And he can't give that up. But because of that, though, he's suffering. So all these people are passing him up. Yet again, going back to what I said earlier, you put him in a race to 10 with anybody, for money or not, he's going to lose. And he knows it. You put him up against not even a pro player, put him up against notable FGC streamers or YouTubers, and they're going to beast Phil. They're going to beast him in a race to 10. And what is that, ladies and gentlemen? It's just more time to all a race to 10 is a way of is being able to condition someone over a longer period of time. And the longer you do that, the more you can expose someone's flaws. And he comes from the era where they did stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And they did it for a reason. It wouldn't work in his favor. I promise you it wouldn't.
Performing so well with as little practice as I got in at the tournaments that I went to, because everyone else was constantly practicing at arcades, going over people's houses,
That was,
going to a
keep
million.
in mind, him boasting about all this, that was 15 years ago. That was 15 years ago. Oh, I was able to do so well with what little practice. That was 15 years ago. Over 15 years ago, actually. Stop living in the fucking past. Let it go.
Tournaments a year, and couldn't do that. I had a job, I had a life, I didn't have the ability to play and travel and practice as much as most of the competitive players, but I was able to adapt a lot on the fly. So undoubtedly, if I were to play pros right now, I'd probably get bodied for a while, and then eventually, after playing maybe a few hours, I'd be able to adapt and start to do better. The problem is a pro who's been playing constantly and has never really stopped playing, those people are going to have the best muscle memory, they're going to know every single nuance of
And everything that you just said prior to what you're saying now is disregarded. Because he's saying in a couple of hours, I would do better. Then reality starts to set in. Oh, well, if they play constantly, you know, they're going to have all this advantage. They're going to have all that advantage. What could you expect of me? Look at what I'm facing up against. The odds are insurmountable. I'd never be able to completely bring myself to their level, despite all the boasting that he did mere minutes, if not seconds before that. Like, that's contradicting yourself on an amazing fucking level. You know what I'm saying? Which only goes to show, no matter how much you lie to yourself or other people, eventually the truth gets out. Sooner than later. You can't fight that. Especially if you're not doing it on the level Phil does.
And if that's the case, it's hard to even learn. If a pro is completely outplaying you and outmatching you, and you don't even get an opportunity to see, oh, does this work, it's very hard to learn, you know? But no, there's no way that I would immediately start playing people and dominate everyone. Oh yeah, I'm just dominating everyone right off the fly. That wouldn't happen. I definitely would need to warm up and play for a while and adapt again. It's been so long since I played against people at a competitive level, so.
This guy is 1,000,000% a pathological liar and a sociopath.
Couldn't block. Again, he does it, I can't punish it. With fucking lag, he just gets away with a free throw afterwards. Dude, I did low medium kick, what the fuck? Oh my god, my move didn't fucking come out. No? Fuck you. Oh, where's my throw?
Yeah, see, this actually kind of proves my point on how Goji conditions him, because when Goji gets close, instead of throwing either a crouching light or anything, if he has Phil in range, he'll usually throw. And the reason why is because he knows Phil can't or won't break throws. And until Phil starts doing that, then Goji will just go ahead and adjust his strategy. But he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to, but because Goji understands that you're not going to break the throw. You're actually going to probably bitch and complain that you were thrown in the first place, which is just going to make you more resentful, which is going to completely throw off Phil's strategy if Phil even has one, which he don't, because he's a reactionary player. But his reactions are so bad, he can't break throws. So why would Goji Tank stop doing it? Matter of fact, anybody who is currently in the Detractor FGC right now should take notes of that. If you have an opportunity to throw Phil, throw him. Throw him immediately. And you do that one or two times, Phil's going to get irate. If you've watched enough of his Street Fighter streams, you kind of already know this. You kind of already know it.
Oh my god, again! He was a full speed EX fireball. I can't react to it because of the lag. So twice he has to
And Goji fucked him over one more time here too. I'll bring it back. So if you look prior to when Phil threw out a fireball, Goji Tanks usually threw out a fireball as soon as it got close to dismiss it, and then throw out another fireball to get one back on the screen. Instead, in that last exchange, when Phil's fireball went out and it was coming down in that down arc, Goji Tank says screw that and just threw his fireball back at him anyway, because Phil's character Oro is still in the animation, so he's still left wide open. That was kind of funny, actually. Well played. Well played.
Yeah. Oh my god, again! He was a full speed EX fireball. I can't react to it because of the lag. So
Yeah,
of course
see,
he's
by the
like,
time Phil was ready to go ahead and react, it was already too late. The fireball was already in his face. That's hilarious. Well done. Well done, Goji. Well done.
PDX fireball and the lag doesn't allow me to respond to it. That's so bad, dude. It was bad gameplay. Oh my god, twice in a fucking row.
Oh, again! Oh my god! Oh my god, I suck!
What the fuck is that? No flame kick and he's a 3-hit combo because of it. Now I'm dizzy, I'm gonna fucking lose. Look! I couldn't get out of it. What the fuck, seriously? Yo, these people are getting so lucky tonight. These fucking scrub-ass players are getting so fucking lucky against me tonight. It's ridiculous, man. Seriously. He's getting every lucky hit in, every single lucky fucking possible hit, and I can't get my basic things like flame kick reversal. I can get one flame kick reversal the entire game. It just won't come out because of the fucking lag. Oh my god.
There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict.
Oh boy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into our next music break, and then we'll get into our fourth video, the fourth video of our broadcast. So I'll see you guys in just a second. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like I said, it's just so much deeper than Phil could understand. Well, that could be said for multiple things, but it's there's so much more to it than just reactions and reflexes, ladies and gentlemen. There's just so much more to it. Anyway, I'll see you guys in a second.
What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, that's... sounds good to me.
Oh, we get more. So we get more salt. We get more salt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the fourth video that'll make up our broadcast, brought to us by Snort Burnell, DSP. Let's see here. Last 1,800 milligrams of sodium. Stop derailing and complaining, and let's hit the sub goal now. And still no mods. It's still no mods. This is from January 9th of 2021. The link will be down in the description. More of that Street Fighter salt. That Goutopian Himalayan salt. Here we go.
What the fuck? Air suplex. Wow, look at that weird ass juggle. Stupid shit. Now I can't move, of course. He's giving me all the stupid ass hit strings in this game where I can't move. Yeah, block low. All I do is sit down back to block it. Doesn't work. Yeah. Alpha 3 is a fucking terrible game. I really don't like it. Like, that whole match wasn't played anything like real Street Fighter at all. There's no footsies there. It's just jump around match, jump around match, jump around match, jump around match. And
Which is exactly what he was doing. Is he was just I hate how Phil plays M. Bison in Alpha 3. It's terrible. It really just consists of jumping roundhouse, standing roundhouse, a couple of crouching lights, and then basically blasting super out. That's pretty much it. There's really not too much else to it. Maybe maybe a couple of head stomps in between, maybe a fireball or two. But other than that, it's just really bad for the sake of being bad. And that's because Bison has a lot of priority with a lot of his moves. But even then, Phil still can't utilize it properly. And another thing Phil does that really fucking disgusts me is he'll throw out a level 2 super, which is, was that Scissor Kick Nightmare? And if it hits, he'll immediately cancel that into a level 1 afterwards. And that's just a waste of a fucking bar. It really is. It's just, you're just wasting it just for the sake of wasting it. Especially since Phil doesn't know how to build meter better. He doesn't know how to build meter effectively, I should say. That's why I hope that one day CVS2 gets released, just gets re-released and whatnot, and watch how quickly he gets beasted. And those are long matches. Those are really, really long matches. Essentially, because you get each person can get up to 3 characters. Yeah, those are long matches. Like, he would have to it would be long. It would really, really be long. So, and there's a lot of killers in the CVS2 community. Like, the CVS2 community is still a very large community. Some people say it's bigger than the Third Strike community. Yeah, every night that he decides to play that, it's going to be hell. It's going to be hell.
Smell the saltiness.
That was flame kick. No tag! Dude, no flame kick again. I can't get my moves. If I can't get my moves, he's gonna win, and he just keeps doing torpedo, which is fucking so simple and lag, and I cannot.
What made you think you were going to be able to react to that anyway? Which goes back to what we said in the last video. Like, you can't. You're clearly. Fuck it, I'll say it. You're not good enough. You're not good enough to react to that on the fly. You're too slow. And I'd have to see a little bit more, but I debate if you could actually tell the difference between a light not hurricane kick, a light Psycho Crusher and a fierce one. And if that's the case, if my theory is somewhat right on that, then that explains why your reaction time is bad trying to counter it. You shouldn't be doing that anyway. To be honest with you, it's easier just to block it and then try to throw Rekka's or his chain, Fei Long's chain punches afterwards, or take the block. Go ahead and just take the block and then throw out a flame kick off the counter hit and see if you can make that work. It's better than what he's trying to do now. Either which way.
Fucking chicken wing move ever. It like does not come out, and nor does the fucking flame kick reversal. So he hit me some million times when I was doing moves to blow through, and my moves don't come out. There's nothing I can do about it. He'll just keep doing shit-ass scrubby torpedoes and hitting me with them.
There's the salt. The delicious salt.
Well, I can confirm there's three $1 tips that came in. I couldn't see them right away. So the first 2 are from someone named Warm P. What a great name. The first cheer is blatantly trying to cause, or excuse me, the first tip is blatantly trying to cause drama. The tip says, do you remember Mike Watson and Jaha from tournaments? Yes, I remember Mike Watson. He was a very high-level Super Turbo player. Jaha is someone who tried to talk shit about me over the years, so I just purposely ignored the topic, because there's no point in bringing it up, because it's just fucking needless drama that literally has nothing to do with my competitive Street Fighter career. So, there's no point in even talking about it. Anyone who literally brings the name up, I know you're trying to stir up drama. So I'm just going to ignore the nonsense and say, I'm not talking about stupidity.
I mean, that's not exactly how that worked, though. Phil was talking shit to them West Coast boys first. And, like, Jaha was kind of put on the front lines to basically take him down. Then he got rushed Phil got confronted at that Evo. And then the story goes all over the place. Phil ran into a corner and cried while other people defended him. Phil ran and hid in a bathroom. And started crying while other people were trying to defend him. Like, it was either which way. Phil ran like a bitch in the corner and fucking started crying while other people had to defend him. Even though Phil was the one who instigated the situation, which is usually the ebb and flow anyway. Like, pure and simple. If you're Phil Burnell, you probably don't want to drum that shit up either. You know? It kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? All that shit talking, all that tough talking, you're just a fucking coward. It don't look good.
Again, so I think you missed my tip. No, I didn't miss the tip. But, you know, you're trying to basically bring up fucking drama on a Street Fighter stream for no fucking reason. It has nothing to do with anything intelligent or important. So, no, we're not going to bring that shit up.
I think that sadly, we're in a world now where people want to pretend like the fucking, they want to pretend like the past didn't happen.
Oh, come on. I can't take it. I can't fucking take it. Why me? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? What did I do to deserve this? Wow, I tried to block. Yep. Nice, giant damage. Whoa, am I fucking moving it around? What are you doing the red because they hit me? Alright, I've had enough tonight. It sucks because I like playing this game, but it's so frustrating getting matches, I just don't want to fucking wait anymore. Seriously. I don't want to wait around, and I know it's going to be frustrating because it's going to keep happening, so. Well, first of all, obviously, thank you everyone who hung out with me. Thanks for a great stream. Jax Raxer with the insanely giant tip at the start of the session. The only thing I can apologize for is, I'm sorry I couldn't consistently get good matches tonight. It wasn't even the trolls. It was the actual game wouldn't give us consistent matches tonight, which sucks. I like playing Throwback Street Fighter. I hate it when I'm struggling and struggling and struggling and can't get the fucking thing to work, and that's the situation we were in for most of tonight, and I'm sorry about that. I like having more consistently good gameplay for you guys. Last week was great, this week not so much, okay?
If you derail the stream talking about shit that has nothing to do with anything that I'm talking about, has nothing to do with the game, you're not addressing me, alright? You're derailing the stream. Okay? And please understand that. Because it's frustrating when I'm playing a game like this, and I'm trying to put on an entertaining stream, and no one's talking to me. Everyone's just having their own conversations and shit. It's like, then why did you even come to the stream today? You knew I was playing Assassin's Creed, right? If it doesn't interest you, and you don't want to talk to me, then you don't have to be here. But some people have been doing this recently with Assassin's Creed, and it's frustrating. Okay? It is. It's frustrating. This is not an open chat room. So just being honest here, it's not. This is not some random open chat where you can talk about, what, you know, random topics that have nothing to do. Like, you can go do that outside of the stream. You don't have to be on this stream then.
That's right. This is the United
I mean, if
States.
that's the case, then what's the point of what's the point of a chat? If that's the case, though, too, why isn't the chat in sub-only mode basically daily? Because there's a lot of streamers who do that. Like, you know, every once in a while they'll open it up for everybody. But for the most part, if you want to participate with the chat, it's sub-only mode. So if that's the case, why not do that? And yes, it's a public chat because anybody can come onto your stream. Unless you put the damn thing in sub-only mode. And why wouldn't... Who the fuck would want to have their chat only be about the topic at hand? Because you hear me, I go off on little tirades all the time and whatnot and bring up other examples about shit. That's just how people talk. Well, not completely like how I do it, but you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how people communicate and shit. If the gameplay is fucking dull and you have other people that are participating with the chat, why wouldn't you want to conversate with them about something else? At least for a little while. I mean, Jesus Christ, sodium overload is a thing. Like, that's... Yet again, he's only hurting himself. Just because you're stuck playing video games all fucking day because you're not willing or able to do anything else doesn't mean that people have to sit there and deal with your bullshit. You know what I'm saying? If there's other people to interact with, why not let that happen? You don't have nothing to talk about anything or nothing interesting or engaging, so let that shit just happen naturally and see what happens. This is why the detractor community will always be better than him. You know what I'm saying? It's because of his lack of communication and to some degree his how he socializes and how he treats people is the reason what gave birth to the detractor community in the first place. And that's why the detractor community has been able to thrive and strive, and why they strive to be better. You know what I'm saying? They beat Phil in all the ways that they succeed, I should say, in all the ways that Phil can't. And he's still, after all these years, he still ain't smart enough to figure that out. There's a reason why people go and watch detractor content over watching your shit. And his dumbass still hasn't figured it out yet. He thinks, oh, I'll just remove the detractors from the situation, and then everybody will be forced to come back to me. No. If the detractor community faded out tomorrow, or just stopped tomorrow, that doesn't help you, it doesn't help your views, it doesn't help anything, because more often than not, anybody who does come in, or the group of people that come in a large influx, you're just going to ban them all anyway. So what does that mean? So at the end of the day, you got nothing at all. And even with the influx of troll tips, they'll just charge it back, which is only going to put you at a large enough deficit. More importantly, if the detractor community did disappear, who's going to be the boogeyman in the night that causes Phil with his wet snorts to be wrapped with fear? He's profited off the detractor community, I think, in a way that he could never profit off of his actual content itself. There are more people over there who tip him and or give him money or support or whatever to piss off detractors. I don't understand the logic behind that. Than actually supporting him. He knows that. He may not want to admit it, but he knows it. And what's more pathetic?
Phil, I am the supreme being. I make the rules, and what I say goes. This is not a place for you to stand on your soapbox and complain about censorship and freedom of speech, because the bottom line is you don't have freedom of speech. This is my land.
You know, please understand, this is my gameplay stream. This is a place of business, as well as a place where a community can hang out and communicate. If you're going to have completely unrelated discussions that are going to derail the stream, and now people are going to come into the stream expecting to see Assassin's Creed gameplay and an engaged community talking with me about it, and if they come in and you're talking about things that have nothing to do with this, they're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? I've gotten some complaints recently as well. It's not
I'm sure you have, but this is a place of business. I thought we were supposed to sit here, play games, and have fun, but now it's turned into a business, which only reinforces what I say, that it's utilitarianism. If you're not there to serve a purpose, then he don't want you there, and you don't need to be there. So what value is there really? You're there to be entertained. You're not there to work a fucking job. Apparently he didn't get the memo.
Others. So people are like, I don't understand why you let your chat go off on such a tangent. You know, I'm coming in expecting to have a good time talking about a game or whatever, and instead it's people talking about such random stuff, and you're not even like talking to the people. Like, yeah, because if people are completely disengaged from what I'm doing, I can't even talk to them because I don't know what's going on. You see?
If you didn't know what was going on, then how do you know that they're talking about things that are off topic, or they're not talking about the stream, or they're not talking about the game that's being played? That doesn't make any sense. You're not engaging with the audience because what he thinks the audience is talking about is stupid. And he said that plenty of times before. That's the real reason. And instead of being a man and saying, I don't engage with my fucking chat because I'm not interested in what they're saying, or what I think, or whatever it is I think they're saying doesn't mean anything to me, he just turns around and blames the chat for not being engaged enough with him. And that's why everything's getting derailed, which is the most pathetic thing to say in the world. That's the equivalent of, hey, Phil, why don't you talk to your wife? Oh, well, my wife talks about a bunch of shit that I don't really know much about. What is it that she talks about, Phil? Well, she talks about her job and how people are assholes and the commute and shit to and from work, and I can't relate to any of that, so why the fuck would I want to talk about it? And that's why all your relationships fail. And that's why when Panda used to come home from work, she'd want to deflate and talk to him and this, that, and third, and he used to keep himself locked up in his office. Not really locked up there, but you know what I mean. He'd keep himself in his office until the late fucking night because he didn't want to hear her talk about her bullshit. He didn't give a fuck about what Panda was doing at her job. You know what I'm saying? That's why he makes such an emphasis on that with Catherine now. Oh, when she comes home, if she wants to come in and, what's his wording? If she wants to come home and bitch about what happened at her job, I just go ahead and let her. Well, I don't know if I'd say bitching is probably the word for that, but whatever, Phil. You do you. But why couldn't you do that with Panda? Oh, because Catherine is filling a role, right? She's filling a role, and you really can't afford not to have that role be filled, right? Because last thing Phil needs, and I assume one of the things that terrifies him the most, is if Catherine picked up and left him. He doesn't need that to happen again. He's already had one woman walk out on him. Just imagine if that happened twice. And there's alimony waiting for her too if she does. Whenever she decides to actually leave. So Phil can't afford that. And Phil certainly don't want that. It's cheaper to keep her. DSP News.
Please understand, alright? It's that simple. This is a gameplay stream. I'm playing Assassin's Creed. You don't like it? That's fine. You don't want to talk to me? That's fine. Come back later. You know? Come back later when it's something that interests you.
So wait. So I can't come to the chat and just chill and talk to other people and whatever, right? I have to, if I'm not going to talk to you, or if I don't find anything you're doing to be engaging, I need to leave and come back later and hope it's going to be better than the situation I was just in. That makes a whole lot of fucking sense. Wow.
Called Hitler. There you go. I'm terrible. I'm Hitler. I'm a terrible person.
Alright, so now of course people are being completely dickheads to me and saying, "Oh, Phil, stop telling people to talk about stuff on pre-stream that has nothing to do with what you're talking about." And how about you grow up? Seriously, like, you think it's funny? It's not. Like, how about you grow up? Stop fucking trying to be dicks and be like, oh, being sarcastic jerks. Because I've seen a real problem during the Assassin's Creed playthrough where people are just disengaged and not paying attention and derailing the stream, and I address it, and now people are, oh, Phil, people can't talk about other things. Like, seriously, how about you just stop being sarcastic jerks to me for a bit? How about that? Right? How about that? Because I realize that some of you are just here to be sarcastic jerks to me. And maybe the time for that is over. You know? Maybe it's time to actually have people here who want to be a community, who are here for positivity and fun, and not to just fucking constantly try to annoy me. You ever think about that? You ever think that maybe 2021 is a new year where I'm just tired of putting up with stupid shit? Yeah. Maybe. So maybe, if you're here to just complain, you should shut the fuck up and leave.
The taste on your lips, I want it all. A toxic, the slipping under. You know that you're toxic. Ow. Taste on your lips is paradise. But I know that you're toxic.
Goddamn, his voice back then is shit. Oh, his voice back then was shit. God damn, that's horrible.
Unleash the beast. Toxic. Oh.
If you're not going to take it seriously, then you don't have to be here. Like I said, you could do other shit, alright? If you don't like the pre-streams, don't sit on the pre-stream and complain about the pre-stream. Leave. It's not rocket science.
Let's hit the sub goal now. Get it done with. So that way, when these subscriptions expire in a couple of weeks, and we dip 100 subs, we've already hit the goal, and we're good to go on this event. Alright? If we don't...
But isn't he already behind when it comes to the sub goal events? Doesn't he already owe them like one or two? Let alone viewer's choice. Oh, whatever. I mean, and then if you guys remember back in 2017 with Patreon's Choice, they were all fucking scams. Let's be honest. All the brackets were pretty much rigged. Well, maybe not back in 2017 so much, but a lot of the brackets were shit. I'd say all the brackets are rigged now, or the polls. It's just him being paid X amount of money to play whatever game he wants to play. I wonder how much 500 subs are actually. Let me check.
Then chances are this is what's going to happen. It's going to dip by 100 subs, and how are we going to make up all those subs? Chances are we're not going to. Okay? So obviously I don't want that to happen. I don't want people to sub, and we're close to the goal, and then we don't hit it because subs expire, gifted subs. Alright? So please, consider subbing to the channel. Think of all the benefits you get.
So over 500 subs, gifted subs at $5 a piece is what? 200 is 2,500. So half of that is what? 20. So half of that is 1,250. Yeah, that's pretty good incentive. That's pretty good incentive to keep your subs up. That's for sure. Wow. And then that's not even counting the tier 2 and tier 3 subs either. So that changes the equation.
40 emotes you get access to by subbing to my channel, including the emote that soon will be the replacement for PogChamp. That's correct. No, I'm just kidding. That's never going to happen. But just joking. But also, you don't have to watch advertisements when I take ad breaks. In addition to that, you get a cool chat crown badge to show how long you've been an ongoing supporter of the channel.
But what good is any of that if you can't actually talk to people in the chat about something that's not you? Like, what good is that? You can get banned or even timed out for spamming emotes, and his definition of spamming is different from what most people would consider spamming. Your chat badge doesn't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? It just means you're a glorified cuck. And To be honest, I mean, even though there are decent people over there, I wouldn't say they're necessarily in his community, there's just usually decent people in the chat to talk to, he won't allow it because apparently that's derailing. And the ad breaks, I mean, who gives a fuck about that anyway? Like, he's getting paid regardless because you have to view an ad when you first come on there either which way. And I don't know if that's what happens when you're gifted a sub, but I'm pretty sure everybody has to take at least take one hit. And if you think this guy averages between 300 and 500 views, a day, that's a lot of ad revenue. Well, it's a decent amount of revenue, I would suppose, because I think your CPM is locked in at like a set rate. It's not like YouTube where it fluctuates. Something to think about.
So, please consider subbing, or hey, maybe you want to help someone out who you're friendly with on the channel, or just gift a random sub to a random viewer who's lucky. All those things, help out the channel and will aid us to get to our subscriber goal. Okay,
DSP cult leader.
Mods, if moderators can please look at the chat. I'm trying to do pre-stream here. I don't want to look at the chat every 5 seconds to try to stop this moron. If you guys could help out, I'd appreciate it. Moderators who were just here a minute ago, any day, or do I have to do it myself? I guess I have to do it myself.
That depressing sigh was worth it. Just for how depressed that sigh was fucking worth it. That's hilarious.
There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict.
I wonder if 2021 will be the year where people really start to wake the fuck up over there in the pig cult, the pig pen, or whatever, and shit actually like happens. Like shit actually gets done over there. I wonder. I don't put too much faith in it, but I wonder. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is sad for me. We're going into the last video of our broadcast. I feel like it went by just so damn fast. Wow. Anyway, last video of the broadcast. I will play our last music break, and I will see you I'll play another music break, and I'll see you guys in just a second. Oh, so sad.
Warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
I forgot to talk about this on the earlier stream. I almost had an anxiety attack last night. Because after I finished my late...
I wonder if money is involved. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the last video of our broadcast. So sad. So sad. We're here with Snort Burnell, DSP. I almost had an anxiety attack. Sub-bomb expired. No more Derich memes. And no lol cow union. This is from January 10th of 2021. The link to this one, as well as all of our previous videos, from today's broadcast will be down in the description. The little cow union. That's kind of funny. Here we go.
Stream last night. I started having pain in my left ear. Yeah, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Am I getting an ear infection? And I started freaking...
United we stand, divided we snort. That should be the motto for it. That'd be hilarious. Oh, shit.
out. Because I was like, dude, if I'm getting a fucking ear infection again, and by the way, you guys know I haven't been wearing the headphones. I think in the last month, I wore the headphones like 3 times, right? So I swear I thought I was getting an ear infection again. Apparently, it was just some random pain in the ear and it went away. But I almost freaked out last night. I was like, you gotta be shitting me.
A panhandler shaking a cup asking for
Wait,
money.
so this dude had a panic attack because he thought he had another gouty ear infection? I'm sorry, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back. Because I missed it. My apologies. You thought you were having another ear infection. Maybe you should bathe, dude. Oh, shit. All right, here we go.
Last night. Because after I finished my late stream last night, I started having pain in my left ear. Yeah, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Am I getting an ear infection? And I started freaking out. Because I was like, dude, if I'm getting a fucking ear infection again, and by the way, you guys know I haven't been wearing the headphones. I think in the last month, I wore the headphones like 3 times, right? So I swear I thought I was getting an ear infection again. Apparently, it was just some random pain in the ear and it went away. But I almost freaked out last night. I was like, you gotta be shitting me.
A panhandler shaking a cup asking for money. Mr. Moron has cheered. This is Derich says he's going to be matching cheers to say happy birthday. No, he's not. And there is
That's
no
hilarious.
birthday.
Yeah. We almost had an anxiety attack because of an ear infection because I haven't been wearing my headphones, but apparently I haven't ramped up my bathing at all. That makes a whole lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. Derich. Let's talk about Derich for a minute, briefly. And I know there are people in the track community who like to defend him and shit and whatever. And that is what that is. But Derich is an interesting one. I'll say that. Go and look at Derich's Twitter. I'm not sending you guys over there to harass him or anything. Actually, you don't even have to go to his Twitter. You can go to Kiwi Farms and you can see they got screenshots of the shit that he does somewhat daily. I don't know if people should defend him the way they do. Now, at the end of the day, they can do what they want, whatever it is. I'm not here to be policing him and anything like that. There's enough people who do that already. But I don't know if he's the one to be defending. Okay, there's a lot of people in DSP's community who do stupid shit, and you can kind of let them slide because of certain circumstances. Derich is he's pretty self-fucking aware of what he does. You know what I'm saying? From the porn stars to trying to interact with those underage chicks, which is a real fucking problem, by the way, to all the other nonsense. The dude is pretty self-aware of what the fuck he's doing. I don't know. I do know. You can't defend all that. And if there's more to Derich than that, I haven't seen it. Now, just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But what I have seen it's not very good. It's not very good. And that shit needs to change quickly because he's falling into the same type of situation where you're sitting here trying to interact with these underage chicks, plus you apparently are developing, if not already have some type of porn addiction. These aren't very good things. And these are things that lead into problems later. Bigger problems later. Just saying. And Derich looks harmless. He really do. He comes across and he looks very harmless. But they said that about a lot of serial killers. They said that about a lot of rapists and pedos. They all look pretty fucking harmless. Just saying. I'm not trying to imply that Derich is going to fall down. That sequence is not going to fall that path of shit or whatever. But someone needs to, maybe, just maybe, his parents need to kind of nip that shit in the butt now before it becomes a fucking problem and he really starts succumbing to his urges. Just saying. Womp womp.
Stream. If you guys keep trying to make like jokes and make fun of other viewers, you're just gonna get banned. So I'll tell you right now, if some people tonight start to, oh, Derich's special birthday stream, there is no birthday stream because you're trying to do it to annoy him, I'm just gonna ban you right now. So I'm just laying it out there. Go right ahead, do what you want, and get the fuck out. because it's not right to be harassing other fucking stream viewers. So, shut up.
Ratty Bag says enough with the ball play. Listen, let me tell you something, Ratty Bag. Alright? When you play as many games as I do, you gotta be a master of balls. Alright? There's so many times in gaming that you just have to be able to handle balls well. And if you don't know how to handle your balls, you get into a lot of trouble in video games. Let me tell you.
It's time. It's always time for balls. Okay, I didn't mean to say it like that, but it came out like that.
Oh my god, this Leader of the Hate Army guy is not fucking letting up on, this Hate Army thing. He really isn't. He keeps hearing and talking about it. Alright, wow, ladies and gentlemen, I just received what appears to be a large tip. I'm gonna verify it's real. Now, Missouri Lover, I know you haven't been around for a while. FYI, I don't know if you know this, in the last few months, I had a lot of asshole trolls who came in here and gave me fake tips constantly and really screwed up my bank account and everything. Like, they screwed up my PayPal.
Whoa. First off, dude comes in with a big tip. I need to verify it. Then you start pig spewing how bad chargebacks have been. The asshole just got there, and he just now threw some money at you. Bitch, you ain't even gotten on stage and danced yet, and you want him to go ahead and throw even more money at you? With some sick-ass sob story? If that's not begging, ladies and gentlemen, and obviously manipulation, what is? What is? Dude throws you, who knows what the donation is, maybe we'll find out in a minute. He throws you a little bit of money, instead of thanks, or I appreciate it, oh, you haven't been here for a while, this is what's going on. Who needs all that? What if it's a fake tip that's going to get charged back anyway? So you ain't sat there and just fed the machine. Right? Because supposedly the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics, all of them profit off of this shit, right? So he's just feeding the machine by doing this. This is supposed to be successful, right? This right here is the residuals of all these people loving him and his content and his 12 years on YouTube, and how people told him to go to crowdfunding because we love you, Phil, we love your content, and we will support you. That's what this is? Okay. Okay.
Verify that it is you, and indeed it is you. So thank you very much. Missouri Lover tipped me $50.
Best time.
What's hilarious is that people were nervous. They was like, Phil, you're going to be doing days that are Assassin's Creed and this new game Immortals. Are you really sure you're going to be able to get people to come out and hang out with you and support the stream? Well, what do you guys think? I think today was a pretty supportive day, don't you? Right?
And then, of course, 1,000 troll responses of negativity. He's greed. And oh, it's Phil's greed. Oh, it's greed. Phil wants more. He always wants more.
So, Problem says, I hope next stream you get $200. That ain't gonna happen. Like, those days are over. You know, last year was a very special time. People were super supportive. I hitting the vest street constantly and everything. I'm not expecting to have $200, $300 streams anymore like I did last year. Okay? And I'm happy. I'm happy with how my streams are going. I'm not disappointed or anything.
You're not disappointed or anything, but yet we bitch and complain about how contributions are low. Please support me. Hey, dude who just gave me $50. For the last couple of months, man, I've been going through it, man. Like, people have been sending me fake tips and shit and been fucking up my accounts. But, yeah, everything's been great, man. Everything's been supportive. I'm not disappointed at all. Huh? What? How does that make sense? You and this guy gave you $50. You sat there and got on your fucking little soapbox with soap still in it because you don't use soap. Bitched and complained about how you've been harassed over months with fake tips, and then have the nerve to turn around and say, oh, those days of getting $200 a stream is over, but I'm not disappointed with what I'm getting now. So you're okay with all the chargebacks. So you can keep victim blaming. Or no, so you can keep victimizing yourself for profit. Well, what little profit? I don't even know if it's for profit. He makes so little money at this point, you would think it's just enough to cover bills. Right? Because he's still begging for grocery money on Monday night, right? So, because he has so much to do on Tuesday with his wife. Like, you know, get that first meal ordered in. And why would you need to get a meal ordered in when you're supposedly out running errands all day? And how many errands do you really need to run 4 Tuesdays out of the month? What sense does that make? It's almost like the whole story is bullshit and they just sit around and just order food and tolerate each other. Or she's in her room and he's in the living room or something. Or in the bedroom. And the only time they come together is when they go in to get whatever food that they ordered, and then they go back to their separate rooms again. That's kind of what it sounds like. It kind of sounds like that bullshit of them sitting in the living room, you know, sharing a coffee and watching TV together or whatever. It sounds like garbage. And if it is happening, I would assume that she's on her phone doing something and he's on his phone with WWE champions. And Jasper is probably laying more surprise fucking hairballs around the house that no one's discovered yet. Just a thought. It's just a thought.
Let's see here. We are at, currently, only 827 subscribers. We went way down. There must have been some gifted subs that expired, guys. That is bad news. We are way down to 827.
Smash that sub button like this. Come on, champions. You gotta join the Champions Club. Let's do it. Come on, smash it.
We're going the wrong direction, everyone. The wrong direction. No, this is not good news. This is terrible news when it comes to sub count right now. God damn it.
Oh my god, he's drinking gin.
Lady Just Rex says, what happens if the sub goal is met? Then we're going to be doing a special event of Viewer's Choice playthrough, where viewers will be able to nominate and then vote on a game for me to play on stream, instead of me just doing, you know, new releases and stuff. Leader of the Hate Army just cheered again, so I'm pumped for Derich's B-Day. You know, that's a detractor meme, and if you say it again, I'm just going to ban you. So I'm just warning you right now. Say it one more time, you're out of here for good. It was a fun stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a good time.
How is that a meme when Derich was up there soliciting happy birthdays from porn stars and fucking stream thoughts and shit? What sense does that make? And that dude could legitimately be happy for Derich. Matter of fact, wasn't there a detractor who actually made like a birthday card for Derich? Like a digital one, of course. And a bunch of people signed in and everything. I think there was some type of drama behind it, but a little bit. But essentially, the overall thought that detractor, I can't remember the detractor who did it, who the idea behind it wasn't a meme. Like they were legitimately trying to do a birthday card for this kid. Or what? Well, not even, well, I guess he's a kid. Whatever. So wasn't that a thing? Jesus Christ, Phil, why didn't you do a digital birthday card and have a bunch of the stream viewers sign it and shit for Derich? Nope, leave it for a detractor to do it.
And, I'm actually looking forward to much more of this game, because it will be a playthrough that I'm going to be continuing on with. In fact, Don Animal says, I actually enjoyed this than most other chill streams game. I agree with you. Like, this is, when you're doing the open world exploration, you're solving the puzzles, and you're doing a little bit of combat against the enemy, it's actually interesting. Like, it's nice, relaxing stuff, right? I do like that. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you to everyone who contributed tonight. I definitely think it works better as a night stream. This was much more enjoyable than the daytime stream. People just want to relax tonight, watch me do some stuff in a game, right? So, there you go. Alright. Thank you guys for the support. Holy crap, lots of support tonight. I really appreciate that. Until next time. Alright.
Can we not make the whole night about that, though? I'm tired of talking about it. Really, can we talk about anything else besides fucking finances and shit? Like, I'm tired of it. I understand that you guys are interested, but I don't want to have the entire freaking stream be about the same subject. People get tired of hearing about money. I'm tired of fucking talking about it. Let's do anything but, okay?
I'm gonna say something up front. Alright? I'm gonna say something publicly up front before we even get started with anything, with the schedule, with any kind of discussion. Recently, on the streams over the last week, I've noticed an increasing number of people who think that it is funny to single out certain stream viewers, or one stream viewer in particular, but there's been a few others who've been the ire of some people as well. But in particular, in the last week, stream viewer Derich, who has been coming to the streams, has basically been harassed constantly by people. And I know why it's happening. It's because the stupid-ass re-streamers and their dumb fuck memes have decided to single him out and harass him online, stalking him everywhere he goes, trying to spin things on his social media into negative shit. And I'm not just going to have it anymore. So I'm just laying down the law. It's this simple. If you harass Derich, or you harass any of my stream viewers whatsoever, you try to make a living joke out of them, and you try to constantly bring up negative shit about them, you're out of here. So the moment I see a fucking stupid joke about Derich's birthday, the moment that I see a joke about what's on his social media, the moment that you open your dumb fuck mouth about something stupid to harass one of my viewers, you're permanently banned from my streams.
I'm just going to ban.
This is a zero tolerance policy. There's no forgiveness here. I'm not going to allow people to get harassed because some dumb fuck re-streamers thought that it was funny to make a meme up and harass someone online. No, it's not funny. Okay, shitheads? It's not funny. You think it's fucking funny, it's not.
Cat, you need to get out now. That place is toxic. Derich is like one of the nicest people who comes to the streams.
Seriously, he's respectful. He always talks about various topics, and he's always participating nicely.
Yeah, he was he was real respectful with that porn star on Twitter who he said congratulations on her first anal scene. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's real respectful. I mean, almost uncharacteristically. He's real. He's real respectful indeed. That's something to congratulate every female porn star on, I'm sure. Let me stop.
A great example of what a well-behaved and interactive stream viewer is. All right. And by the way, the funniest part about it is he doesn't contribute. He doesn't cheer, sub, or tip usually. He's just here to be a positive guy on the stream and just chat it up and enjoy the content. So you think it's funny because you singled out a nice guy.
Like I said, given all those Twitch thoughts that he follows and whatnot, he's always complimenting on and whatnot. I assume we know where the bulk of his money goes, or mommy's money, whatever.
You're gonna harass him online. No, you're gonna get fucked. All right, I'm just saying this up front. I know this sounds very harsh, and some of you might be like, "Damn, Phil's really starting out pretty serious today." Yeah, because I'm not putting up with it anymore. It's ridiculous at this point. It's been like a week every day, people making fun of the guy, and I'm not putting up with it. So enjoy your jokes. You're out of here. I'm serious. This is a zero tolerance policy. I don't care if someone's not paying attention. Oh, I didn't know. I don't care. You're banned. You should have known better to begin with.
It took you a week though to do this? I mean, you would think after a couple of days you would want to go ahead and put your hoof down on this, but you waited a week. Yeah, you're making real strides over there.
It's not funny to harass someone online. I know as someone who's been harassed for the last 12 years, but here's the difference between me and someone who comes to a stream. I'm a public persona, okay? I'm someone who puts himself out there on the internet every day to be viewed and rightly to be criticized, and yes, to unfairly be ridiculed, but that's just part of the package. I chose to do that. That's all it is. It's greed. Lazy and greedy. I didn't really know that's what I was getting into when I started this 12 years ago, but now every day I choose to do that. One day if I say it's enough,
that's not true, because he shitted on his peers, he shitted on developers, publishers, he shitted on a bunch of individuals. He singled out plenty of individuals and ridiculed them online. He knew exactly what the fuck, and I'm talking about from like years ago. So he knew exactly what the fuck he was getting himself into. He knew exactly what the price that was going to be paid for all this. He just didn't think he would have to pay it. That's what it really comes down to. He thought, oh, they're the biggest, the most biggest and well known. It is what it is. I was just, commenting on what other people were commenting on. But then, didn't you say that you used to be a big YouTuber, or you were the biggest of the gaming YouTubers back in the day? So what made you think that wasn't going to be enough for you to take a hit too? I mean, anybody can take a hit. Anybody. No, like anybody can be opened up to that. And Derich is, shit, his Twitter's publicly available for people to view. You know what I'm saying? And he don't seem to have any shame about what he says up there. So, it is what it isn't stopping him. He's still doing it. He's still interacting with people. It doesn't look like it really bothers him that much. However you want to take that is up to you. So what's the problem? It seems like you're more butthurt about this than he is, as far as I see it.
I decide to leave the internet and do something offline or whatever, that's fine. Derich is just a stream viewer. He doesn't deserve to get harassed by you shitheads. So and by the way, if you do harass him, you're a shithead. Again, zero tolerance here. I don't even care if you're a stream regular. If you're going to harass someone else, you think it's funny. It's a bandwagon approach. Oh, well, the restreamers are doing it, so it's fun and funny and it's safe to do. No, fuck you. And you're out of here. And that's
clowning
that.
The shit that he does and harassing him is two separate things, because harassing him would theoretically be bringing that shit to his doorstep. His virtual doorstep. And I don't see a whole lot of that. I don't even know which restreamer he's addressing, because there's a couple of them. So I don't even know which one he's even talking about, but I doubt any of them are going about it the way Phil's making it sound. I very likely doubt it. Like I said, from as it pertains to the detractor community, at least as far as I've seen, they kind of just feel bad for him and whatnot. It's not, and I mean, yeah, they kind of laugh at some of the silly shit that he says or does, but it's really, they kind of feel bad for him. No one's singling him out and turning him into the next thing. It's almost like DSP is trying to shield himself, and he's like, stop messing with Derich because Derich's antics might go ahead and spill over onto him. As if Phil's antics hasn't already spilled over onto Derich anyway, hence the reason why Derich may be the way he is now. Well, what are you going to do?
I'm just going to fucking ban everybody. It's going to be a very simple situation where I just go ban, 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 and that's it.
No, see, here's the difference, nugget huggers. He's, oh, good thing the only humor I like is farts and poops, because you're making fun of me because people say I make a lot of fart and poop jokes. The difference is when I make a fart and poop joke, I'm not harassing someone. It's generalized humor versus actually trying to harass someone online, stupid. So, wise the fuck up.
Every single day he comes in, he's toxic.
Yeah, I mean, really, it sounds like you got like a scat fetish or some shit, which, whatever. But that's what it really sounds like. It's not exactly, it would be rather harmful, Phil, if someone clipped that and sent that to your father's job. I would think that would be kind of harmful. It definitely wouldn't be pleasant.
Toxic.
So JohnMan6767 took me $5. Thank you very much. He said, I'm a messenger. People want to know if you would like to do a one-time collab with Wings. No. I said this 40 zillion fucking times. I don't want to collab with Wings. People just do this because they're fucking assholes. They think it's funny.
Oh, Phil and Wings. The loud cows combine.
You fucking idiots. Shut the fuck up. Dark side, Phil the lol cow.
Low cow, low cow.
No one cares. Let Wings do his own fucking thing. Leave him alone. You guys know that what I do has nothing to do with any of that shit that he does. We don't even play the same fucking games. Fuck off. Get your fucking dumb fuck moronic ideas out of your head and just enjoy the content for what it is or get the fuck out.
There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck.
Fuck that.
The back
Actually,
of my
I normally don't cut into this part because I love this part. But I'll cut in on this one time. He's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot. I think if he did actually sit there and have a one-on-one with Wings, I think that'd be a good podcast or whatever, or interview or whatever. I think there's value to it. I think they have more in common than Phil is willing to admit, because I know that. I know that for sure. I know a lot of you do too. They have more in common than Phil's willing to admit, and he doesn't want to sit there and have to admit it. And he doesn't want to admit that he might actually like Wings or Jordy. He may actually like the guy. You know what I'm saying? And he probably don't want to admit that to himself either. But, and that in a lot of ways, when Phil looks at Jordy, he sees aspects of himself in him. Because Jordy does. Jordy sees aspects of himself in Phil. Either side of that coin is bad, but they do. There's a lot of camaraderie there, whether either one wants to admit it or not. And Phil just don't want to. And Phil, in some interesting sort of way, still thinks he's above Wings. He thinks he's better than him. Because Wings, if you think about it, out of the two, Wings was by far the more successful YouTuber. By far. Leaps and bounds, Wings was by far the most successful YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? He still is, theoretically. Even as look at the Wings, the tractor community and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is rampant over there. You know what I'm saying? There's a new person popping up all the fucking time. You know what I mean? And despite the dark past that the Wings community has, or the Wings detractor community, or troll community, sorry, that they have, they still were able to bounce back. They may have not been able to clean all of it up, but they were able to bounce back from it. And there are people over there that are incredible, that are doing incredibly well. Look at Lummox. You know what I'm saying? Sean Ranklin's pops in wherever he feels like. I don't know if Conway Conman still does anything. I think Lean still is in the picture though. Obviously the Slob Father's still in the mix. Fat Man is still in the mix. There's a new guy who just popped out of nowhere. Is it Richard Pepsi something? It's it's a bunch of guys over there. There's so many. There's too many to name. It's too many to name. But the point being is that the Wings troll community is a pretty big community, and it's pretty successful, I think. and it's certainly made its mark in one way or another. It's not something to kind of brush off. You know what I mean? It really it really shouldn't be. And there's so much crossover between both of their audiences, to be honest with you, even more so than you have with DSP and Low Tier God. There's just a lot of crossover. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people who discover Wings eventually come over to DSP because, you know what I'm saying? Who doesn't like Wings and Port? it go together, to be honest. Anywho, just want to throw that out there.
Head the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. That I just can't help it. By eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity. Is the guy who just doesn't get reality.
Oh boy. Gotta love that outro. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a few minutes to, not a few minutes. Give me a few seconds to square up. I will regale you with my final thoughts, and I will let you guys go on with your day. Yeah. So see you guys in just a second. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to Snort Burnell. Very much appreciated. Snort Burnell's work ethic is amazing. God damn. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a quick summary of our situation. Detox symptoms of WWE champions and money in Call of Duty, and the Night of Gin and fame on Twitter. That was just, make of that what you will. Like I said, staying up till 5. Him, whether he's tweeting or he's lurking on Kiwi Farms, that it's not too much different. I think he just stayed up a couple hours longer than normal, but Phil is known for being up till like 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. So it is what it is, and that's a habit that he's had for years. So why would any of us expect him to change it? Because there's no need to do so. He's been doing it for so long. So that is what that is on that. Let's see, no magical connection with any of my viewers, and Wales returning to duty, and PC expert. I mean, the whole thing with Derich kind of proves my point. I think it proves a lot of people's point as it pertains to the connections that he has. Wales coming back into the mix. Make of that what you will. And then he doesn't know jack shit about PCs. Don't ever believe him when he said he used to build PCs, because he clearly don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Clearly. I think someone even debunked and found the Google search he used, and he basically ran off on. So it is what it is. Let's see, my 4th place finish at EVO 2005 was valid, and I would dominate pros after warming up. Yeah, that's a joke. He can't even get past the detractor FGC, and he's barely making it past the average scrub on Friday night. So let's go ahead and throw all that out the window. Almost had an anxiety attack. That was because of earache shit. The sub bombs expired. That must have been the Dan Games. Or is it Dan Gaming? Yeah, Dan's Gaming. That was his amazing regret. So that is what that is. Let's see. No more Derich memes, and no lol cow union. I actually skipped one, which was funny too. Like I said, he has more in common with Wings than he's willing to give credit to. Derich is making himself a meme on his own. So that is what that is. Let's see. Last 1,800 milligrams of sodium. That was from that. This is the second part of the 4th place at Evo situation, derailing the chat. That's amazing to me. The fact that you sat there and would bitch at people for having a conversation on your stream with each other, and just because it doesn't have to directly deal with you and your bullshit, you would have the nerve to tell people to leave and then come back when there's something that they actually want, or they actually might like. But then again, he's been doing that for years. Excuse me. That's why his viewership keeps tanking, unless it's drama, of course. So that is what that is. And let's see. Let's hit the sub goal now for a sub goal reward that he's probably not going to come through with for months on end. So that's worthwhile. And then still no subs, or still no mods. Sorry. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that cornucopia of stuff that you saw there is someone who can't let go of the past, someone whose begging is fucking intensified and will continue to intensify, who is losing his edge when it comes to Street Fighter, and he can't let that shit go, and it still hasn't brought his hygiene up to where it needs to be if he's still scared about fucking ear infections. Like, that dude's a fucking nut. But we're gonna be here to report on it, because why not? He's amazing. And I still stand by my what was that called? My recommendation that Catherine and Kelly should start a podcast with each other. Real lolcow wives of the internet or of streaming or whatever the fuck. They should do that. Or real housewives of lolcows, whatever you want to call it. They should do that shit. It should be either a bi-weekly or a monthly show, and I think it'd be funny. It would not only be funny, but I think it would give us better insight on what it's like to live with Darkside Phil and Wings of Redemption. And I think both of those women could bring a lot to the table in comparison of what they deal with. And I think you're going to find that both of these guys they're not that different. You know what I'm saying? Phil needs his drink and his WWE champions and his pills, and Wings needs DoorDash and, I don't know, Zaxby's or Wendy's or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? They're really not that different when you really think about it. But wait, I still have the pilot for that DSP/Wings crossover show I got coming. So hopefully I can try to show you guys in some way, shape, or form when that comes out. The pilot should be out soon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And see you guys for the next broadcast, whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. For the Snort Report, for Goutopia, for DSP News, and for Snort Bucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company, I've been your host / anchor, GTG, and I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, guys. Later.